and welcome to the Yeerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are the
The
Yeerky
Yeerky
Boys.
Boys.
Yay! Hooray!
Go ahead.
We're here coming at you to bring you season 1, episode 17 of the Animorphs TV show, Not My Problem.
This episode aired on January 26th, 1999.
Is that a Seropedia?
That's what Seropedia says.
Oh, okay. Everything else is the 24th. I'll believe
yeah,
Seropedia. I
don't
thought
know,
you
I
always got it
usually-
from IMDb.
Well, I was in the other tab, and I just read that one instead.
Okay, well, it's the 26th now is when it premiered.
But how could they? I understand being a week off, but how do you not? Don't you at least know which night of the week the show aired? How can it only be 2 days different?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey,
Seropedia.
shut up. Sorry, my cat's meowing.
Well, it is almost dinner time.
No, I just fed him.
Oh, well,
Shut up. Hey, get out of here.
he needs more.
Sometimes this is true. We don't have time for this. No one cares.
Everyone loves
Can I just say Will was 3 hours late today?
cats.
Okay?
Listen.
The people deserve to know the truth that you're not a good co-host.
It's fine.
I want everyone to just internalize.
We don't.
If you ever start to
We don't need
listen
to
to
go
this,
into this.
if you start to like him too much, if you're starting to think, hey, these are both
There's no
fun
need
guys.
for any of this. I mean, personally,
I
this
want
isn't
you to know.
relevant to any of our listeners. They don't care because
well,
they're
now it's
they're
their
not getting their
problem.
episode 3 hours late.
Maybe they will. I might upload
Well,
it
but
3
that wouldn't
hours
be
late.
my fault
It would
because I don't
because
edit it. I'm not the one
You
who
would
uploads
be the
it.
cause.
It,
I
if
would be
you get your
punishing you.
episode late, that's not me.
Well, I think it is.
I don't know about that.
It's just like you have some gum in class. You need to bring enough for everybody.
What?
One person fucks up,
that's what
everyone
it's
gets
like?
in trouble. Yeah, it's like
What?
that. It's
No, that's
it's
not
like
the
that.
gum. That's the car thing.
It's both.
That's the cop.
It's everything.
Even the
It's all of
cop
them.
gets in trouble.
Listen, we have some old business to discuss, as well as some new business to discuss, as well as some an email to read. So can we
lot
just
of business?
can we freaking get to it
Let's
already?
get to it. Give me the business.
All right, I'm gonna start with the old business,
Okay.
and I want it on the record. I can't prove this, but I want it on the record that I was going to say this on the show before reading this week's email.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Listeners may recall in last week's episode in which we discussed Tobias,
Yeah.
we ranked our top 5 pose.
Yes, I do recall
You remember? Yeah. A lot of people had big reactions to that.
that. Mm-hmm.
There was
Yeah,
there was a week. Yeah.
Assume we have a flurry of emails with top 5
Sure.
Poe rankings. Yeah.
Sure, and we can't read them all. People have very strong feelings about the pose.
Yeah.
There's one Poe that I realized after the fact. I forgot a pretty big one.
Mm.
Any more Poes come to mind?
No, I don't have any more Poes in my mind.
And what if I were to say to you, skidoosh? Does that ring a bell?
Because of
Doesn't?
Jack Black?
Well, okay, so you're there.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yes, the main character from Kung Fu Panda is named Po.
I never saw Kung Fu Panda.
Okay, well that explains why that didn't connect for you.
Okay.
Kung Fu Panda is good. I would probably put the Po from Kung Fu Panda at like number 3.
Okay.
and bump the other ones down.
Okay. I don't remember your order of pose, but
Yeah, people will have to go back to that. So that was important because that really, I felt bad that I left that off the list. Pretty obvious one,
okay, good.
frankly.
I'm glad the record is corrected.
Well, Steven wrote us an email.
The sharing.
Steven writes, subject line, more pose.
Oh, good.
Hey, Yeerky boys. I can't believe you forgot one of the most important and Animorphs relevant pose. No, not Po from Kung Fu Panda, who is an animal. Animal. But of course, Jake's dad from the start of Megamorphs 3, who is a certified Po.
What?
Oh, I was just wondering if you would know, so I took a pause. But here's a quote from the book to explain. Quote, I had long suspected that Cassie might have slightly radical tendencies. A lot of blacks did.
Right. No, we know how Animorphs is written.
Why is he making me read this? Blacks and a lot of Jews. Although not in my family. My dad was a certified POE, Patriot of Empire.
Okay, yeah, we forgot about that one, I guess.
Stephen continues, also, I never realized until just now that when Jake says a lot of Jews, although not in my family, that's him acknowledging that his dad is Jewish. Keep up the good work, Stephen.
Okay, so there's one more Poe.
What's wrong with him that he remembered that? How? That is such a specific detail. That's crazy to have that living in your brain and be able to pull it up whenever you need to. That's crazy. How many times has he read that Megamorphs book?
Maybe we'll bring him on for Stump the Buff.
That's what the fuck. That Poe is on the dishonorable mention list.
Okay.
That's not going on my top 6.
Okay. That'll be a low Poe.
Yes, that's next to the Popo.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It is a Poe. No, I guess it does have to go on the list. It's just that it's number 7. It's the bottom of the list.
Right. Yeah.
The Popo don't get a ranking because they're technically not a Poe. They're a Popo. So that's why it's dishonorable mention.
Sure. If that's how you feel about that.
Same reason Mr. Popo is honorable mention, because he's 2 Poes. That's different from being a Poe.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose.
That would have been funnier if I said it, but thanks for writing that email, Steven. If anyone else is listening and has more Poes to suggest or any other Animorphs thoughts, you can email us, theyeerkyboys@gmail.com. So that's the old business and the email, and then I had some new business I wanted to discuss before we talk about today's episode.
New business?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No, that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. I wanted to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I had an experience last week.
I don't know that I like where this is going.
I had a dream.
Okay. Okay. This is really going to be relevant. We have time for this.
Yes, of course we have time for this.
Dream.
We're only covering one episode today.
It better be about me.
This is
if it wasn't about me, I'm not going to be interested in it.
It's not about you. I had a dream about Animorphs.
Like the Martin Luther King speech.
Yes, but more important than that. And I wonder, I'll tell you about my dream in a minute, but I did wonder.
In a minute?
Yeah,
what are we doing? What is this?
This is new business. Would you let me, please?
Okay, please continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I wasting your time?
A little
Oh,
bit.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah,
sorry. I'm
kinda.
sorry.
A
Was I
little,
not being
sort of.
thoughtful and conscious of your schedule?
To some extent,
Oh.
yes. Because it's
Oh,
really the
no.
listeners who you're
I'm
making
really
fun of right now,
sorry.
right? Like,
I'm
right
really
now, the
sorry about
listeners are
that.
sitting here being like, "Oh, no, our time is being wasted by Jonathan,"
Oh,
and now he's
yeah,
mocking
that's
us for it.
true.
It's, uh,
Yeah,
it's really bad form, and
I
they don't
really wish I
appreciate it, and
had
they're
thought
writing
that
in about it.
through. Oh, no. I should have been better.
You shoulda.
I'm sorry.
Let's hear about whatever you're intending to say.
I wanted to ask if you've ever had an Animorphs related dream before, as an adult or a child.
I have no idea.
Are you one of these losers who doesn't remember their dreams?
I very rarely remember my dreams, yeah. Or at least more than, like, a minute after I wake up.
Boring!
I don't dream journal or, any of that stuff.
Boring! It's probably because when you go to sleep, there's nothing in there. Your brain just shuts off because you got
See,
an
now you're
empty
just
head.
everybody is now aware of like, this is why I have to be bad
Huh?
with you, is because you're such a meanie.
I, hey,
Because, like, once he gets on it, he won't stop. He'll be like
don't
this
call
for
me a blue
days.
meanie. Yeah, well, I kind of have to be. And anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about that. I thought it might be fun if listeners wrote in
Mhm.
and sent us some of the dreams they've had, because a lot of people were kids reading Animorphs all the time, and I thought maybe they would have Animorphs dreams.
Mhm.
Anyway, this is what my dream was. Um, it's not a very it it. I'll be honest, it makes me look very sad.
Okay. That's
It
better than where I thought you were going.
it paints me in a depressing, pathetic sort of light. And I did hastily write notes of the dream down right after I woke up, because I was as I was forgetting
Mm.
it, and I wanted to remember it to talk about on the show.
Well, maybe you can
So,
tweak some of the details to make yourself sound cooler. No one will be able to
well,
verify.
it's not gonna there's not really a way to do that unless I change the premise entirely, but the gist of the dream, as far as I can remember, was that I was involved in some kind of there was some kind of like VR Star Wars video game.
Mhm.
I think it was like a dogfight game, or maybe you were in like X-Wings and TIE fighters sort of a thing.
Mhm.
And there was like a tournament for this Star Wars video game, and you like played in teams, and I was on a team in the with Jake and Marco. And it was the Marco and Jake actors from the show,
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Because that's what
which
we're
we've been watching.
right.
Yeah. And so they were in my dream, and they were like my friends, and we were on a team in a video game tournament. And that was the dream.
Wow. I'm really glad you shared that with us. It's it does say so, like, what it could have been, a Beast Wars game, and then it would have been a little more
Mm.
true to the show.
Yeah,
I guess that
right.
was your kind of interests, seeping in there.
Yeah, I just think it very specifically shows you that I am a grown adult man, and what I dream about at night is, what if I were friends with fictional teenagers and we played video games together? That's what's happening in my deepest heart, subconscious.
I think doing this podcast may have changed you.
In
Eh,
what way?
maybe not for the better.
You think I'm regressing because of it?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. It's probably my
Hmm.
fault. The consistent interactions.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could tell you if we won the tournament or anything like that, but I don't recall. I'll probably
Mhm.
write a fan fiction based on this.
I see. And I assume Marco was funny. Maybe Jake
Yeah.
was, like, kinda hot. Marco was probably into both of you.
Right.
Maybe there were some parts of the dream you don't wanna say on air.
I mean, were my sheets wet when I woke up? Yes. Why were they wet? That I won't say.
Yeah. Right. No.
There's 2 or
Yeah.
3 possibilities.
There's several. I
3
don't.
I'd say 3 or 4.
We could probably move on. I know I started it, but we could probably move on.
Listeners, write in, email us if you have thoughts on My Dream or any others. And also don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/the Yerky Boys. Maybe we'll do a full Animorphs Dream episode if we get enough dream submissions.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad we had all of that business because
Mhm.
our episodes have been running shorter lately. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
good to
yeah,
have a
yeah.
little bit of padding,
Mhm.
give the listeners what they want,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh Not my problem. So
Not my problem.
as we said, this is episode 17 of the TV show. Directed by Stacey Curtis and written by George Melrod, who these are new people.
Yeah, George Melrod, which sounds like a name I would call you. You
Melrod
fucking
does sound like
Melrod.
some kind of insult, doesn't it? See, he's
You
just going to be like
fucking
this.
dim-witted
He's not going to
Melrod
stop.
piece of shit.
He's going to do this for literally days.
You Melrod motherfucker, I swear to God.
Could also be like is Melrod a K.A. Applegate name? Or is it like the
Yeah.
wrong kind of weird and bad?
No, I think it could fit in there.
Okay. Okay.
This guy, he has not had a very long writing career.
Hmm.
He wrote another season 2 episode we'll get to.
Oh, okay. So not a one-off, but
Other than that, the biggest credit I can find on his IMDb, he only has he wrote for like 4 TV shows, including Animorphs. And then in 2005, he was one of the writers on the animated Disney pigeon movie Valiant.
sure. I
This
feel
is a
like I've
movie
heard
where,
of Valiant.
yeah, it's World War II, only they're pigeons.
That does not ring any bells, so maybe I have not.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Gervais does Tim Curry, it's all these British people because it's the
Yeah.
British pigeons in World War II.
Sure. This sounds
Sort
weird.
of Animorphs. I mean, World War II, talking birds.
Yeah, okay. I see it. I see it.
Probably gonna put this on the Patreon.
Okay, yeah, we'll put that on there for sure.
Now Stacey Curtis, this is her only Animorphs episode.
Hmm.
She is mostly known for various Canadian television shows that no one in the United States has ever heard of.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go. That's who that is. As for actors, we have once again Caesar the lion, not Bongo.
Mm.
So when the lion shows up, no, it's Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Caesar, home.
We also have Jonathan Whitaker as Greg, Karen Waddell as Nikki, and David Christo as Carl. Now, who are they, you ask? I'm not entirely sure. I have some guesses, but I really don't know.
Aren't Greg and Nikki probably just Jake's parents? I'm
Are
pretty
they?
sure.
Oh, shit. You know what? Because they did. You might be
I'm
right.
looking at the Jonathan Whitaker's picture, and it sure just looks like Jake's dad. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even bother looking because I was like, I don't recognize these names, but you're right. They had different names in the show, so I should have double checked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Carl, I don't remember, but maybe we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, there's like 2 guys who I think one of them might be Carl,
All right.
but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I closed my door, and now my cat is on the other side clawing at it because he wants me to open it.
Yeah. Well, I just heard Homer over here, so this will be an animal episode.
Yeah.
And y'all can have fun with it.
I opened the door. Okay, everything's okay.
All right, so this episode, not my problem. So first off,
That's your attitude about every one of our shows.
I don't know that that's true.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just don't know. Now, here's the funny thing about this episode. You might be saying, this is not based on a book, which is technically true. And when this came out, you might be saying this is not based on a book. But in a sense, this episode is a book. It's just an Animorphs book that hadn't been written yet. So both K.A. Applegate and the writers here have the same idea for this episode. This episode is basically more or less the show's take on Megamorphs 4.
Back to before?
Right.
Wasn't that the second one? Back to before?
Oh no, yeah, I think wait, what the fuck was it's all the same
No,
shit. That's the problem.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. I was trying to do a bad joke. Like they should have written it with the number 2.
I think
But then
Oh yeah, no,
they
2 is
could've-
Time of Dinosaurs. Why did I even get confused there? I'm just stupid.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I just
tripped
believe
you up.
anything you tell me is the problem. Yeah, no, it's 4. I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm stupid.
Well, it's because I've belittled you enough. Your self-esteem is low, and you're just willing to believe
I
you're
see.
wrong.
Okay, well, just in this episode, just assume that if I get anything wrong, it's Jonathan's fault.
I'm gonna edit that out. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, this concept is not exactly.
No.
It's not like, oh, no two people could have come up with this idea.
Right. No, it's not like a crazy thing. The idea is basically literally just what's it called? The Christmas movie. Fucking you know what it is.
Yeah,
That
with
one.
Ralphie and the Fragile.
Right. Right. No,
Right.
exactly. You got it.
The
The Angel Wings movie.
Come on. You don't remember the name of that movie?
It's A Wonderful Life, right?
There you go. And it's also, we just did one of these too. I mean,
Mhm.
the first Elemist episode does a little bit of this. Tobias, we literally just had a flashback, which I said last week, kind of reminded me of the Megamorphs back to before. So we also we recently had the Rachel amnesia, which is also sort of like a character, like a reset of a character. It feels like they're going through this well too many times in too short of a span, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But-
I do think it's very interesting that this particular, like the Tobias one is just flashbacks and stuff, right? So it doesn't correlate to
Yeah.
anything, but this one very specifically correlates to, alternate timeline, what if Jake hadn't been at the construction site type of thing. Which is, basically just Megamorphs 4. And, because they're both doing that idea, I do find it a little bit interesting because normally when you look at similarities between the episode and the book, you're kind of saying like, okay, how did they adapt the book? But here, because they're not adapting a book, it's telling in a different way. It's like kind of saying like, how did the show envision these characters and envision these storylines? Considering that like neither one is based off of each other, they just happen to do the same thing. So I do find that interesting. However, I was also thinking that same thing at this point. I was thinking, okay, once again, we're getting an episode. It is this alternate thing. It isn't really the main plot. It isn't driving the plot forward in any way. We've been talking about how many plot books can they even, like, do they even have left to adapt that aren't just completely bonkers? Not many. And it does like start me wondering, are we gonna get like any more? Like, is this just what the show is now? Are we just doing random shit like this? And I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to once again start the show by giving my closing thoughts.
Sure, yeah, I think that's fine.
We do that all the time. But also kind of repeating something I said during the Rachel amnesia episode, because I think it's the same issue here, which is the whole idea of these types of episodes and what makes them compelling is to see the characters that you are familiar with be reset and changed in some way. The problem is, at this point in the Animorphs TV show, we still don't really know any of these characters, or their dimensions are so few that resetting them has no impact, because it's like, oh, now instead of Rachel being a girl who likes gymnastics and is an Animorph. Now she's just a girl who isn't an Animorph.
Mhm.
Like there's no distinction between the versions of these characters. So the only thing we get is like, hey, what if they didn't talk to Elfangor? But
Right.
they themselves are not really any different. So it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, that is definitely an issue, and there are also issues where, you kinda say, like, "Okay, so, once again, we're having Jake as the POV, or at least the initial POV character of the episode." I mean, I guess he is because he's the one who makes the wish or whatever, and in Megamorphs 4 and also in The Familiar, which is just Megamorphs 4, you can kind of feel that, right? Because it's been going on so long, you can feel that Jake has been having this wear on him. And
Yeah.
here, you kind of say, well, the little that I do know about Jake as a character, it doesn't fit with the idea that Jake's the one who's saying, I can't deal with this anymore. Like that, I don't, where did that come from? Why Jake? Why not anyone else? If, why even
Mhm.
anyone else? It's just kind of there to be there.
They're
And it,
not
and
doing
it
the
doesn't
legwork.
flow. No, no, because as you said, we have so many amnesia episodes, flashbacks, flash forwards, not enough like them actually doing stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
that being said, I did still enjoy this episode, like, quite a bit, but I didn't enjoy it in the way that you said, like, where you're saying, "Oh, we get to see the characters reset." Um, I I
Mhm.
I almost enjoyed it as it felt like this is more enjoyable if you just look at it as, like, what if this was just a standalone? What if this wasn't a fucking what if? What if this was just, like, completely different take on episode on Animorphs, one standalone episode? This is, like, and we just assume that this isn't building off of any other characters. This is just its own, like, the faculty type of thing. And in that sense, there are a lot of bits in here that I think are really fun and well done. But yeah, as a single episode of this show, it suffers a lot from not having a show to build off of.
Well, as you know, I am a sucker for alternate timeline shit.
Mhm.
I pretty much liked it every time it happened in the books, I think. And it
I
happens a handful of times.
I think the only time you didn't like it was, the Elfangor's gift one where they're just jumping from Revolutionary War to World War II.
True, but I liked the beginning parts that
Yeah, that's true.
were this, because then it kind of diverges into other stuff.
Right, yeah.
Um, so that is definitely I'm a sucker for that kind of thing.
Mhm,
It's my jam. Give me an alternate universe. Give me a multiverse. I don't care.
mhm.
I'm not. I'm. Give me all of them. But yeah, you do. It is better when you have an establishment. You need a foundation to subvert before you can subvert nothing. But so I'm sort of in the middle on this episode where I'm predisposed to like this kind of thing, even if they didn't
Mhm.
fully put the effort in.
Yeah. I mean, also, I do think that I have just fully given up on this show going anywhere or doing anything. I'm just taking the scenes moment by moment and being like, yeah, that was enjoyable. That time. Sometimes it's not. So hey, I'll take what I can. It's kind of like, oh, they're never gonna establish those characters. So can I still enjoy it to some degree without that? Oh, they're never gonna go anywhere with this plot line. Is this disc plot line even gonna get resolved? The only thing that they added, the only arc plot that there seems to be, probably, I don't know, quite possibly no. Oh
Yeah,
well. I
yeah.
I have
Well,
no clue what they're gonna do with the rest of this show.
let's get through this episode, and then we can worry about the rest of the show.
Sure, sure. Um,
Jeez.
all right. So, yeah, we start off. We get the scene. Jake's like at his locker in school. This is the like establishing that Jake isn't. He's like under stress, right? He's like all upset. There's some note in his locker that I can't read
Yeah,
and that they don't tell you what it is.
Yeah, what is that? That is very weird. I kept waiting for them to show you the note or to have him say something about the note, and they
Yeah.
never do.
Yeah, because he, like, sees a note sticking out, he pulls it, and he's like, "Oh, Jesus," and then Marco's like, "Hey, you wanna hang out?" And Jake's like, "Also, I got homework," and then Rachel's like, "I need to do shit," and then he goes home, and Tom's like, I'm sharing with you," and basically, it's a series of these scenes, right? And we can talk about them, but this is Jake getting to the "I can't do this anymore" stage. But yeah, what the hell is that note?
I the only word I can make out on it, they have
Mhm.
one shot of the corner and it says tonight.
Mm.
So it's somebody was like, we have to do so and so tonight. But why wouldn't they just show you the note?
Yeah,
That's what
I
a
don't
strange, like, did the tape just not record by accident? And they were like, fuck, we don't have a shot of the note. Ah, well, who
it's
cares?
fine. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that is about.
And
Um,
also, like, what, they like taped it to his locker on the front of his locker? Like, this is
I
not a
I
good way to communicate.
I'm not seeing it right now. I thought they, like, stuck it in the door so it was hanging out, but,
Oh,
or
maybe. I
I
don't
can't
know.
no, they might be taped. Yeah,
They
I don't
didn't
know.
have texting back. Yeah, no, it is taped right on the front. There's not a I
Weird.
mean, it's sticking right out where anyone
Yeah.
could just grab it.
Yeah, so it
That's for
can't be an
sure.
Animorphs thing.
No. Alright, so then he opens up his locker, and there's even more. He's got some great decorations on the inside. We talked
Mhm,
about Rachel's locker.
mhm.
He has, what appears to be some clip art of a baseball player from Microsoft clip art,
Mhm.
like the most generic cartoon baseball man, which doesn't even make sense because it's well established that Jake is a basketball guy.
Yeah, that is weird, you're right.
And then underneath it is just a clipping of a picture of a car. Like, not even a
Yeah.
cool car. It's not a Ferrari. It's like
No.
just a top down view of a regular old sedan.
Yeah, on a white background. Like, what is that?
He just loves cars. This is an alien decorated this locker. Oh, human like car picture. It's
Makes
ridiculous.
sense. What is this picture above his calendar? I can't make out what that is.
That looks like maybe it's a bunch of people. Maybe it's a picture of his baseball team. I don't know.
Sure.
Now, this part I did like.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't even notice it because if you watch, you can see him coming in the background.
Mhm.
Marco creeps on up behind the door, closes the door, and goes, "Hey, surprise! It's me,
Mhm.
Marco."
I
I
like
thought that
that
was
he's
pretty
got a
funny.
bright red shirt on. Uh,
Wait, red? Is that not orange?
if it's orange, it's a dark orange.
Hmm.
C-
Is this your laptop screen, or are you colorblind, or what's something's happening here? Because that reads as clearly orange to me.
Hmm. I don't know. I think I'm. Let's see. I could sample. I could take a little. Hold on.
Yeah, can
take a
you run
take
this through a program to
take a
get
little
the hex
screenshot
code?
and sample. No. Yeah, I could. I was thinking it was orange at first, but I eventually was like, no, I think that's just red. I think it's just got like
Hmm.
the background tone of the shot is a little bit yellow.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
Wow.
I
Well,
don't know.
this is the blue and gold dress all over again.
I do think it's a blue and gold dress problem, is what's happening.
Anyway, he's there,
Yeah, he's there.
looking
He's fun.
good.
He's looking good. He's being charming and
The man
fun.
of my dreams.
Uh, Rachel's here too. Um,
Rachel's here too.
yeah, I guess.
Sup,
Sure.
Rachel? Yeah, and he needs everybody needs Jake for something, like you said. He's
Yeah.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and Marco needs him to play Space Destroyer 3. Kind of, it's a lot like my dream.
Mhm, mhm. Well, that would explain why you had it.
I had it before I watched this though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. So
No,
I don't know
wait.
as about
Yeah.
what Space Destroyer 3 is about. Sounds fun.
I'm more interested in when he gets home and we see Tom, and Tom's got this weird, like, hair curl. What's going on with
Hmm.
this? You know what I
Well,
mean? He's got, like, the
I don't.
little hair curling down over his forehead. It looks like it's intentional.
It's the '90s. Kids were doing all kinds of things with hair gel.
But it didn't look I mean, he didn't have it in the other episodes.
Well, remember, oh no, this is the normal. Yeah, I don't know.
He has it in
I
the
was-
weird universe too. I don't like, is this
yeah,
that's just
it's just his new style.
I don't like it.
I think it's cool. It's like a Superman thing. It's like the one strand down
Yeah.
in front of the forehead. It's like
No, it is like
Superman.
a Superman thing. I just don't think that he pulls it off.
I think he does. God, I wish he'd pull his shirt off. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I'm a little bit more interested in these, like, guys who
Tom's
show
kind of
up
hot.
here, you know?
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
Before we get to the guys,
Okay.
because we're gonna get to them, I think
Okay.
we should say something that has been happening throughout this opening, which I don't feel like it's been a regular thing too much,
Mhm.
which is Jake is doing a voiceover for his inner monologue in this opening.
Mm.
And we've had introductions where it's been like them talking to the audience of, oh, fighting these Yeerks sure is hard, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
The exposition sort of
Yeah.
monologue in the
The
beginning.
one paragraph opener or whatever. Yeah.
But here you get a little more of him being like, huh, that's weird. Like you're hearing his thoughts in the moment, reacting to stuff more like you would get reading the book. Their little thoughts as they go about their day because it's a POV, or like a noir detective thing where they're like narrating what they're doing. I thought, oh, is this like a new thing we're doing now? Are they like, oh, we need to be more like the books, let's put in some more voiceover stuff? They don't really do it for the rest of the episode, but it was kind of heavy in this opening scene. I don't know if it's something you noticed or.
Yeah, I guess to some degree, I didn't think too much about it because I was just like, "Oh, Jake voiceover," but, I did sort of notice that.
I liked it. I think it
Mhm.
would be good if they went all in on that going forward.
Mm.
And like, hey, the books are POV books. Let's, if it's a Jake episode, like you're hearing Jake's thoughts narrating as if it's like a detective movie. Like I think that would be, it would give the show a little more flair, and it would help flesh out the characters. It would feel more distinct from other shows of the
Mhm.
time. But I don't, it seems like it's just they just threw it in because for some reason they thought it wasn't clear what he was doing or something.
Yeah, they
So,
weren't, what is it, confident enough in their writing that they got across the idea that Jake was overwhelmed, I guess. I mean, that is interesting because there is a thing that's gonna happen around the midway point of this episode that I really like that you specifically can't do in the Animorphs books because they are written from a
mm,
POV. Um,
yeah.
so we'll see when we get there, but,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm anti POV in general.
sure,
Do you know that?
I guess, why not?
I don't know. I feel like I complained about it a lot in the series. At least one POV per book. That I didn't really like as
Mm,
much. I like it
right,
better when there's multiple per book.
sure. Now, when Tom shows up, there is this music that comes on.
Go ahead. How would you describe it? Because
I
there's a one correct way to characterize the music.
I mean, I wrote it as bow music, but then also I
Hmm.
wrote boop boop tick tick ba boop.
Okay, right. But if you were going to use English words,
It's got like a boop boop tick tick ba boop sound, but then it goes bow every once in a
all
while.
right,
That's how it
you're going to
goes.
make me say it. You're going
Yeah,
to make
say
me
it.
say it. It sounds like it's from a gay porno.
Now,
It's gay porn music, and then Tom's basketball friends
yeah,
come in, and they all start like teasing Jake,
yeah,
and it's the most
yeah,
homoerotic
they're
fucking scene I've ever
surrounding
seen.
him. There's a
It's
scene where
fucking Top
Jake like
Gun in the locker room.
Yeah, Jake, like, tries to get around the one guy, and the guy, like, darts in front of him and does the little slide, and they're face to face, you know?
They're all clearly about to fuck.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also Tom just drank straight out of a carton of juice or something, which I think is absolutely disgusting.
Well, you see, that's the difference between us is I think that's totally fine if you're the only person using that juice, but he is not. He is a teenager in a family home, so
Hmm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that is you can't do
That
that.
makes it worse. That for sure makes
Yeah.
it worse. But it is kind of,
It's
it's
fun.
kind of erotic to see him do it.
I see,
I think it
because
just
they're gonna
lends it to an
share
yeah,
instead.
he's like, "Hey, little bro, what's up?" And he just, like, leans back, sweat glistening on his neck, just chugging down this juice, and it's, like, dripping down his lips, and he's
Right.
like, "Sup, bro?" You know?
Now, what I thought was really funny, now maybe I misheard this, because I
Mhm.
wasn't sure this is what Jake said, but there's a bit here, where Tom's like, "What are you up to tonight?" And Jake was like, "Just listening to some music." And I
Mm.
was wondering, is the gay porn music,
Mhm.
also diegetic, right? Because like, last
Mhm.
time, we had
Yeah,
some gay cowboy music playing, it was actually playing.
right.
So I was wondering, is this just Jake's taste in music?
I think that's very likely.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Now, we have to ask another question that's very important
Okay.
because Tom does have 2 friends come in,
Yes.
and it's established they are basketball players.
Mhm.
Is this Juan and Terry?
Oh. See, I was thinking one of these guys might be Carl, maybe the little head bob guy.
Hmm.
But I like the idea that they're Juan and Terry, especially with all the homoeroticism. I do ship Juan and Terry with Jake.
I mean, we did think maybe Juan and Terry were in a scene in a school a few episodes back,
Mhm, mhm.
and they should. I think they're supposed to be in Jake's grade, but they could sometimes in a school you have a gym class with shared different
Yeah.
grades, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Right.
So so this might be them. Yeah, it does seem likely one of them is Carl, since
Mhm.
usually a speaking line. Although doesn't it say uncredited on IMDb?
Yeah, I think
It
Carl is
does.
uncredited.
But who knows? Maybe in the show, Juan and Terry are Carl and Melvin.
Carl and Melvin, Melrod.
Yeah, Melrod's place. All right, now, okay, so then Greg and Nikki walk in, and Jake goes to his room and he's real mad because
Mhm,
everyone's hounding him. You already made the statement about how why is this Jake?
mhm.
This could be anybody.
Right.
And even just from the establishing of this opening, I feel like Jake is acting like such a little baby.
Yeah.
He's
No.
like the things that are piling on top of him are
Yeah.
not that bad compared to like stuff that's even happened on this show in other episodes. It's like, oh man, my brother like wants me to play basketball. My friend wants to play video games with me. Oh my god, my life sucks. It's like
Yeah.
what's happening? Why
Yeah.
are you so upset?
Yeah. It's listen, the reason that it's Jake is because it's Jake in the Animorphs books when it happens that come out a year after this.
Hmm. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is funny because it's like, Jake, you haven't even killed a single person in this show.
Yeah,
Like,
the
get
life of an
over it, you
animorph on
baby.
the show is hunky dory.
Yeah. What
There's nothing to
you
worry about.
all you've done is hide behind corners in warehouses.
And then immediately, who shows up?
The
The
Elemist.
oh yeah, the motherfucking
The
Elemist.
fucking and it's not the book Elemist, it's this fucking show Elemist who I hate.
That's right. He's back. We weren't sure. We didn't really know if we would ever see him again.
I mean, honestly, I really didn't.
Yeah, who knows? We don't know. He's
Yeah.
back, not to let Tobias morph still.
No, none of that. We're not doing that.
Well, in a way, he lets Tobias be a boy again this episode.
That's yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay. I feel it.
And yeah, then he does the wonderful life thing and he's like, "Oh, you say you wish you were never an animorph, eh? Well,
Yeah.
zippity doo. Here we
Yeah, and it's
go."
kind of like here's the I'm not even sure it speaks to a couple things here.
Speak to them.
So let's contrast K. Applegate's Elemist and this Elemist, and also K. Applegate's style in general. Um, Because in the books, the Ellimist does have reasons for doing what he's doing, but they're very tricksy, right? They're never really very, you know what I mean? So like when we get Jake going
Mm.
back in Megamorphs 4, first of all, it's the Drode who's doing it.
Mhm.
But you can
Mhm.
kind of tell that the Ellimist is involved because he shows up at the end. And so because of this, the whole thing is like ambiguous, right? Like, did it end well? Did it end poorly? Maybe it went better and Krayak doesn't like it. You know, the Elmist is playing games. Whereas here it is very much a wonderful life thing. It's, oh, so you wish you were never an Animorph? Well, I'll just show you that then and you won't like it. And then it'll fix everything and you'll be like, I like being an Animorph now. Right? It's stupid. And it's like, why did he show up now and not some other time? What bigger game is he playing? Why is he allowed to interfere like that? Fuck that. Who cares about any of that? We established that, but it doesn't matter. Um,
It's worth repeating, I think, that at this stage in the books, there still was very little known about the Ellimist.
yes, this episode would have come out the same month as the attack, which gave his backstory with Krayak, so they definitely did not fucking know.
Mhm. Right. So, as far as they were concerned, the Ellimist is just I think I compared him to Q before, but,
Mhm.
like, that's what he's just a guy who shows up and we wanna do a magic thing, Ellimist can do
Yeah.
that.
So here's where I'm also going to contrast their writing style with KA's, and maybe this isn't going to paint her in the best light.
Uh-oh.
Because, I want to do this kind of alternate history timeline thing. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to justify that, right? Well, I guess we have this Elemist guy. Make him do it. The element. It was the Elemist. Why? I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about the Elemist. I don't give a shit, but he did it. Kay Applegate in book 41 wants to do this alternate timeline thing. And she's like, well, I'm not quite sure why the Elemist would do it, so it's just some other thing. It's just some other thing. And we'll never explain that. It's some other thing. Who knows? Who cares? Who
Yeah.
gives a shit? Doesn't
And it was
matter.
good, yeah. That was good.
Yeah,
It was good.
and yeah, I mean, listen, but
It was
whatever you
good.
say, it does tell you a little bit about how Kay Applegate writes things rather than, how a normal writer might write this sort of thing.
Well, it's sort of to her credit that she's not forcing the
Mhm.
Ellimist into a box he doesn't belong in.
Yes, that's true. Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there are better solutions to that.
Right.
But her heart's in the right place.
The Drode, for one. They coulda imagine if the show just made, like, a weird Joker character, and we realized after the fact that not only did they predict Megamorphs 4, they also predicted the Drode.
Oh my god,
We're only 1
what I
month out
wouldn't
from the
give.
Drode. The show could show him.
Oh my god. And there's a break. I mean, before
Yeah.
season 2 might be full of Drode.
It could be nothing but Drode.
Oh my god. I dare not hope.
There's no way. There's no way they did that.
Oh, Drode. Please, Drode. If they did Drode on the show, it would be just a guy. He would not be a
Yeah,
dinosaur.
yeah. Maybe he'd be
He
a
would be
weird
a guy.
puppet thing.
Oh my god, I would love that. Oh, I would love that. If he was just a little Muppet, like a little Fraggle or something that just popped up and was like, like a guy from
Yeah,
Labyrinth.
yeah, yeah. I'm imagining they're doing it entirely with the like a wooden cross and strings, and you can just see all the strings really obviously.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
here's a fun thing. Here's a fun exercise.
Hmm.
Imagine if the whole cast of Animorphs was Muppets except for
Hmm.
one human.
Wow, that's really fun.
What would you do? Probably the human would be Chapman.
I think it should be Victor Trent. Should be the human.
Okay. Okay, actually that's pretty good cuz Eugene Lipinski is very Muppet-like.
I think he would do well in a Muppets movie.
Yes. He would be incredible as a Muppets villain.
Yeah,
Absolutely incredible. He would steal the show. I am going to take this Muppet theater down. He'd-
yeah,
He's so mad.
right.
I can't sanction this buffoonery. That's a
Uh,
Tommy Lee Jones quote. You know that one?
no.
We got time. This is true. This is a quick anecdote. You'll like it.
Okay, I better like it.
That is on the set of, I forget the context, but it was on the set of Batman Forever, in which Jim Carrey played the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face.
Mhm.
And at one point, Jim Carrey, I think, told the story that Tommy Lee Jones said to him, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Jim Carrey's a treasure.
He did not like how goofy Jim Carrey was. He was trying to take his role seriously. He was goofing it up.
So we're about 10 seconds past the opening theme of this show.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah, this is good. This is what we need to
You know
get
what's
you
not good?
what's not good.
The Elemist haircut. It's really bad.
Yeah.
It
What about his
sucks.
fucking bushy ass eyebrows?
Yeah, we said it before, but he is just the most 1950s British ass man.
I don't
He
like him very
sucks.
much.
Yeah, he's very boring. Even more so here than his first appearance. I think is just
Yeah.
who cares? There's just no reason for this guy. It's a plot device. That's it.
It really is also just a visual problem. Like he should have some whimsy to him. Like give him
Yeah,
pointy ears or like a wizard robe and hat. I don't know.
make him
Something.
Gandalf. Give him a beard or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
something. I don't.
Yeah.
Why if they should have gone Lord of the Rings instead they went Star Wars and it was the wrong choice.
It was the wrong choice. Yeah. No,
Applegate would have told him.
it's not good. Yeah, she sure woulda. If they hadn't alienated her, she would have Star Wars on my fucking show. Get that shit out of here.
At some point, wow, this is still pre Phantom Menace this episode.
Damn. Wow.
Crazy.
TPM,
Yeah, everyone
as
was
Marco
yeah,
would say.
that's right. Marco was still getting hyped for TPM. I did note fun little Easter egg, I
Mhm.
think, is at some point in this scene, Jake uses the phrase normal again. He's like, I want to be normal again. And that is the title. People, you'll like this, the title of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, which is a very similar, basically sort of the same premise. It's one of these kinds of episodes. It's called Normal Again. So I was
Right.
like, oh, that's a little,
Little
I think
Easter
that's
egg.
also a call forward to that
Oh,
episode.
okay. So that
Yeah.
wasn't even them doing a little.
That wouldn't have
Oh,
aired yet. Yeah,
that's pretty
that's
fun.
foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I have you for all these important insights into the episode.
Right. A lot. That's why people listen to this podcast. Not every
Right.
other podcast. In fact, probably none of them make that reference.
Yeah, I mean, listen, how else any other podcast you listen to talking about only this episode would be at most the length of this episode.
I actually don't think I'm going to say this
Mhm.
to waste more time.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like most other Animorphs podcasts don't even cover the show, or at least not episode by episode like we're doing. I can't recall. I haven't looked at them in depth lately, but I think a lot of them do the books and then they move on to like Everworld or something. They
Mm.
don't do this shit like we do.
Lucky them.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's why we're the best. Where the hell were we?
Jake's gonna have breakfast. I like the cereal he's eating. So this is now everything's been back to normal. Jake doesn't know that it's been changed. It's a full reset.
Yeah, there's like a weird light fade out thing, and everything's reset. Yeah.
The cereal that he's in a really good mood. The cereal
Mhm.
he's eating is called Wacky Wheat and Rice Cereal.
God damn, I want it. Gimme. It's like wheat and rice, but it's wacky.
The two really a contradictory title there.
Yeah.
How do we get kids to like wheat and rice cereal? I know, call it wacky. I know this is not a real
I mean,
cereal. I know I'm doing a bit about a cereal that's made up, but
no, it's reasonable. Here's another question about this.
Mhm.
Wheat and rice do not seem like two grains that like go together. Like
Mm,
to me, this unless there's like two different types of cereals. There's like a rice cereal
mm.
and a wheat cereal, and they're mixing all the pieces together.
Oh wow.
And that maybe
I think
that's
it's
what
like
makes
a
it wacky. Is that it's
right. It's like a Chex Mix. It's like half Rice Krispies, half
right.
honey wheat or whatever. What's a wheat cereal? I don't know. Chex?
A
I
lot
don't
of
know.
them.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, the cereal does sound like it sucks.
It does. In the background of this shot, by the way, when he's eating the cereal, there's two large candles, and
Mhm.
this is, a callback to this week's email as well. I wondered if those are Shabbat candles. Those might be his family's Shabbat candles.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you
Because
think,
why else do you have those? Yeah.
what out of all the cereals, which do you think is better at preventing masturbation? Wacky Wheat and Rice or
Mhm.
cornflakes?
um. Yeah. Well, it's not Wacky Wheat and Rice
Okay.
because I certainly started
Okay.
masturbating after seeing that.
All right. Well, I mean, but
Yeah.
sometimes I had that reaction to cornflakes as a teenager
You
too,
did.
because of the chicken on the box. I
Yeah.
assume everybody had this experience.
Sure, sure, sure. Most people did.
Uh, all right, Wacky Wheat and Rice. We've covered the bullet point entitled Jake's cereal
Mhm.
on my notes.
Yeah, I wrote out the name Wacky Wheat and Rice cereal.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jake's parents are worried about Tom because he's spending too much time with his after school activities. So Jake's like, "Oh, I'll like maybe I'll talk to him about it." And they're like, "Yeah, you should go with him and all that to this sharing thing." Also, we find out that Mitzi has given their family some theater tickets.
That's cool.
Which I don't know. I just heard that and I was like, Mitzi is a dog's name. So I don't know what
Hmm.
the dog is doing giving their family theater tickets, but
Could be a monkey's name.
yeah, it feels very doggish to me, but I guess it could be a monkey.
Yeah, Mitzi the monkey. I think that there's the shot here of Jake smiling is the opening, like the first shot of the theme song. I think
Oh,
is Jake gives a
yeah.
little smirk.
Shit, I think you're right.
So that's fun to recognize that. Sort of like when we saw the Goosebumps dog,
Right. Yes. No, I a lot of those shots I have kind of noticed when they popped up, but that one I didn't. It went just right past me. I think the
He does a
problem
lot of, yeah.
I was I like
What?
I just I've been
What?
getting nostalgic for the lyrics, kind of
Uh-huh.
checking out, being like,
Yeah.
I want to sing along.
You can still sing it. Now it's
I
on
can.
you to sing those words while Jake doesn't shut
Mm,
the fuck up.
right. Hold
He does a
on,
lot of smirks in
hold
this.
back the darkness. Yeah.
That kind of, I don't know, it kind of pisses me off. He's just always doing these little DreamWorks smirks. I'm like,
Mm,
who do you think you are? Fucking number 3 on my top ranked pose list? Jesus Christ.
well, I think those smirks are gonna start paying off in a little bit, but for now, we'll
Interesting
see.
smirks. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Smirks.
kinda.
Smirk. You
Now
know what I'm saying?
we move on here,
Mm-hmm.
and this establishing shot tells us we've been
Yeah.
wondering. They go to Brockwood High School, so
Yes.
there's a question answered for you.
That's right. We know they're at Brockwood and it's a high school.
Yeah, they're not like somehow supposed to be middle schoolers, even though they're obviously not.
Right. So I guess we don't know. My guess is they're supposed to be like sophomores or something. I don't think they're freshmen because they kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. Tobias's first day of school was as
But he's a
an
new kid. Remember, new kid. I mean,
right,
remember?
and they said he was an underclassman. So if he's
Hmm.
new, in theory, they're all underclassmen. So they're not. They're
Hmm.
probably
But
sophomores.
what's an under? Yeah, underclassmen would be freshmen and sophomores.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah, that makes sense because I don't think they're like king of the campus or anything, but
Yeah,
they also know the lay of the land.
like if I'm a senior, I'm not calling juniors underclassmen. I don't think, even though that I don't know if
Yeah,
that's technically true, but I probably wouldn't have.
yeah, I don't think so. But and they're also not going like, oh, who's this Chapman guy? Like they are all aware of who the
Right,
staff is and everything.
right.
All right, great, established.
But we have Tobias here, and he's kind of creeping on Rachel.
Yes, what we learned that in this alternate timeline, we're
Yeah.
being introduced slowly to see what's different about everybody.
Hmm.
Tobias is still stalking Rachel, just now without wings.
Right. He's like,
Um,
it's a pretty ominous shot of him.
well, he's still wearing his school shooter jacket. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, they really did cast Tobias well. He does, he should and does look like a school shooter.
Yeah, no, it definitely works. I like it. It's fun. Jake walks up on Rachel here, and they really listen in. They say in the opening, Jake's like, "She's my cousin," because they don't want you to forget, and maybe they should have let you forget because. Like, oh my god. Like, Jake is here, and Rachel's just like, "What's the matter, Jake? Are you jealous of my stalker?" And he's like, "Oh, me, oh, come on." He's not like, that's a weird fucking thing to say. No,
Right.
no, he's like, he's clearly jealous. It's really obvious.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that is not how you would
No,
not joke that way with someone you're related to. Oh, are you jealous of Tobias? You wouldn't say that
no,
if you weren't
yeah. And
incesting.
and if your cousin said that to you, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, come on." No, you would look at them like, That's a weird fucking thing to say. Why did you say that?"
Yeah, you'd be like, gross. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
Obviously.
obviously. Neither
I'm
one of us is posturing on that point. That's
no.
just how we would behave in that
God,
situation.
no.
No, yeah.
Now,
Obvious.
Rachel does walk off with somebody at the end of the scene. For a second, I thought it might have been Melissa.
Yeah, I have a note confirming it is not Melissa. She
Oh,
gets a
so
friend in this episode. It's not
mm,
Melissa.
you did check it. I mean, I guess you would have been on IMDb.
Well, I just looked. I'd like paused and
Well,
made sure.
maybe it's a recast. Maybe
Yeah, it
it's they
could.
couldn't get Melissa, and that's Melissa. Maybe
Okay.
it's alternate universe Melissa.
Mm.
She has like better skin or something.
Listen, this would have been the episode to bring Melissa back in.
Yeah, I mean, Chapman is back.
Yeah,
We haven't
Melissa.
seen him in a long time.
It's true. We have not seen Chapman in quite some time. Melissa could have been an Animorph instead of Jake.
Yeah, why not?
That would have been cool.
So, I mean, I don't know. Jake goes to the principal. We're gonna see more of that
Mhm,
later, though. But I did. Then we see Tobias and Rachel in chemistry class, and I did for 1 second. They pan over the classroom
mhm, mhm.
for like 2 seconds. I thought the Elemist was back and they were frozen in time because like no one is moving as they pan across. I was like, that's weird. Is this time frozen? Oh no, they're just all just standing
Oh,
still.
I'm fucking looking at it. What the hell? There's like a kid who's literally got a beaker at an angle about to pour it into a funnel, and he's just sitting there. He's not pouring. What the hell? No, this is weird.
It is, right? They're like standing still, like
Yeah, what? I didn't even know. I think I was just too busy at this point because right before this, they have this shot of Tobias where it's like he's shot from below and they do this like boom musical sting and I'm like, oh, this kid's trouble type of thing. And I'm just thinking, but yeah, but what is this chemistry lab?
the extras were not given good direction. They're
Yeah,
like, do not move. We are afraid to miss the shot. Just stand in your marks and shut up.
yeah. And can I also say, every single kid in this chemistry setup has a different setup. They have like different beakers, different burners, different colored liquids. Some of them are pouring things, some of them are piping things. Like what? This is like
Yeah,
some kind of
it's
chemistry
chaos.
independent study where they all pick their own project or some shit. What is this?
This is free chemistry. You know, the last 15 minutes of class, you can go and take whatever equipment you want and just experiment on your own.
Free chemistry.
Free
Yeah,
chem,
no,
they call it.
yeah, free chem.
It's like recess for chemistry students.
Right.
Yeah, and Tobias and Rachel's experiment is he's pouring a liquid from one container into another.
Now, to be fair, that is a lot of chemistry.
I get, but there's nothing. The other one is also empty. He's not mixing anything. It's just like, hey, what if this was in not this shape jar, but this shape jar? What
I'm
is that
trying to
accomplishing?
figure out what this is because he pours it in there. The other jar does look empty, but when he pours it in, it like fizzes up and bubbles. Is this
But I
just
don't
like a
think it.
baking soda vinegar and he's got like a tablet in there that I can't see or some shit? And they put
Maybe. I
red
mean,
food coloring for no reason?
I think most of that is just they added a bubbling sound effect. I don't. I
No,
think the
it's
fizz.
you can
I,
see
I
it.
think that.
It's like Like, watch it, it pours
Yeah,
out of the top.
yeah, maybe they have, like, a little dry ice in it or something, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
It's
yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean,
But,
it's
like, what
clearly
is
the
he
most
doing?
half-assed fucking thing, yeah.
That's not an experiment. That's I don't know what that is. Okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
This is your science fair volcano, like, pretty much
R
exactly.
Except there's not even a fucking volcano. It just
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, the beaker is kinda shaped like one.
Sure. Wait a minute. Beaker. That gives me an idea. In
Oh.
the I think
Oh.
Tobias is played by
Yeah.
Beaker. Because as a hawk, he is always
Ah,
squawking. So
right.
he's like, me, 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 me. Oh, Tobias.
Oh, you took it
Rachel's a
even
girl.
farther. I was just thinking, like, because, like, beak, but yeah, oh, you're way
Oh,
better. That was
wow. I
good.
mean, that's another
Yeah.
level I wasn't thinking on, to be honest.
Oh, well. We're both impressed. We're both great, once in a
I haven't
generation
forgiven you.
minds on this podcast.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
Tobias, is telling Rachel that he thinks everyone in the school or that he thinks people are getting taken over by aliens. Um, and his evidence that he tells her is that there's that one chick at the other table. She used to be, to use his words, totally twisted. But now she is, to use his words again, stiff.
Yeah, why is this Heather's all of a sudden? What is this dialogue? That's not
Right?
how any kid talks. Why are why are they doing this? I did like when Rachel he's like, "I got something serious is going on," and Rachel's guesses are terrorists, the ozone layer, fatty foods. Haha, the third thing is not as bad, but it is funny to lead with terrorists.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is pre-September 11th. Terrorists were
Right.
around, but nobody really gave a shit.
That was just a thing from Back to the Future. They
Yeah,
wanted the plutonium or something.
right. The
She didn't
Libyans.
know that she would be a terrorist, you know?
Yeah, she's got 9/11 on the brain. She's thinking
Yeah.
about it. She's ready.
Um,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah, okay, so now we've already established what's going on in this universe. Nobody is an Animorph, but it's not they're still Yeerks,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. And the
But
Elmas did say he can't fix that.
right. I mean, why it's not worth discussing, but the nature of the Elemist's powers, they're sometimes confusing in the books, but even more so here. It's like, wait, so he can, before he showed them a vision of the possible future,
Mhm.
but now he can also alter the past. So, like, if he can alter the past, why can't he do a lot of different things that could help them? We don't
Yeah.
know about Krayak, so we don't understand, like, what are the
Unless he's just
rules?
lying, he can only show them a vision of the past, but it's not.
Yeah, is it just a vision? It's not clear. I don't know.
Now,
It's
here's something
confusing.
that's kind of weird, because during this scene and going forward, we shift a little bit off of Jake as a POV character, right? We are going to find out at the end that, like, it was Jake who made this request of the Elemist. Only Jake remembers this. So, what's happening here? I guess
Hmm.
it can't just be a vision, because then this wouldn't exist, right? Like, these
Right.
must be real people.
Right, that's true. Yeah, if it was just a vision, we would never leave Jake's POV.
Yeah. I don't
Right.
know.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Um,
Yeah.
Another kind of interesting point that is going to become more and more of a thing going forward, but at this point, it's Tobias who's really taking the initiative on the Yerks. So before I had kind of talked about how, like, the K. Applegate has the, like, kind of depressing loser Tobias, and the books have kind of or I mean, in the show has kind of the respected loner school shooter type Tobias. Um, and I do think that
Yeah.
it does speak a little bit to the different ways in which these characters are envisioned. That when the writers of the show said, "Oh, we're going to do an alternate history," they were like, "Oh, Tobias might be really into it." Although that is strange because he was more reluctant in the show. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Tobias is into it now, whereas in the books, when Kay Applegate had to envision what was her Tobias like? If there was no Alfangor? The answer was he immediately joins the sharing and gets yerked because he's a giant loser, and he's exactly the kind of person who gets preyed on by that sort of thing.
Yeah, which is much more believable,
Hmm.
but also in the show, Tobias, like everyone else, doesn't really have a character. So this
Right.
also isn't unbelievable for the show. It's
Right.
just it could have this could have been Marco, this could have been Rachel or Cassie. It didn't matter. It had to be one of them.
Yeah, I guess Tobias has more of a like an aesthetic than a character, doesn't he? Like he's got school shooter vibes. That's his character, is he has vibes.
I
So
think
like
did I say last week that he does look like Keanu.
yes. Yeah, I think you did say
So
that. He does.
he has main character energy.
Mhm. Yeah, I see that. The Elemist is kinda the same,
Well,
like, in some
I
ways, the Elemist's powers make more sense in the show because, um, in the books, he feels like maybe there should have been a coherent idea behind him, and here he's just he's here, fuck it. His powers are who gives a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
that makes
powers are who
sense.
gives a shit. I do wonder. I think another aspect of this is that this is an opportunity for Tobias's actor to actually be on screen because he's still can't morph out of Hawk normally.
Mhm.
So if they're gonna go back in time or whatever, then they're probably thinking, or Tobias's agent is thinking, "Hey, give him something to do."
Yeah. It is crazy that that wasn't, like, a mid-season special. Like,
Yeah,
because at this point, the earliest it could happen would be end of season 1, and that is, like, what are we doing?
yeah, it's bizarre. It's really
Yeah,
bizarre. Like, did he know when he signed the contract for this show? Hey, you're gonna be in 3 episodes.
yeah. I mean, this is why they have to do so many fucking flashback episodes, because otherwise they're I mean, there still is no Tobias, but
It's strange, but but you do get more of him here, which is kind of fun.
mhm.
Um, Rachel and Cassie gossip a little about him.
Yes, a hair down alert for Cassie.
Thank you. One of them refers to Tobias as totally crackers. Or is that? Oh no, that's the girl he said that about. No, that's was totally twisted. They call him
Yeah.
totally
Or di
crackers.
yeah, I thought they said, like, cracked, but maybe they say crackers. Cassie also calls him cute.
Yes, Cassie wants to also fuck Tobias.
Mhm, apparently, but I guess she's not into the bird. Maybe she is.
Well, how could they know yet? They haven't had their bird awakening.
Right.
I mean, Cassie does often have her fist up the insides of a goose.
That's true. And Rachel has still had a bird awakening. We're going to see later. I'm going to show you some evidence that she's still thinking about those birds. Um,
Hmm. Okay.
but another very important thing that we need to talk about in this scene.
No backpacks.
Yeah, where the fuck are their backpacks?
Is that what you were really going to say?
That is exactly what I was going to say. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it until rewatching it now. Yeah, no backpacks. Yeah, bizarre.
uh, why?
The
How hard
backpacks
is
just
that?
aren't the Gap doesn't like the backpacks because they interfere with the cool outfits, I think.
Does the Gap not sell backpacks? Maybe.
They probably do. Or again, it's just they want the actors to be carrying something and
Mm,
it's just something for them to do with their hands because they're like, "Hey, we have a props department. Fucking put these books in their hands."
yeah,
Yeah, it's stupid.
it's dumb.
Jake and Tom, they play basketball. This is kind of fun. I like watching
Hmm.
them play basketball.
Yeah. I
Tom
also,
says, "Yeah, go ahead."
say it. Say it.
Tom said, "What do we need? Both of us don't need to be here. We're just going to say the same things." He says, "Nice try, Jaco."
Jaco.
Pretty fun nickname.
I like it.
Yeah, we all like it.
Yeah, everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's all I had to say about that scene.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have some other things to say about that scene, but not till later.
This is the first time, in the books and in the show too, I think Tom
Mhm.
is like, basketball sucks. I don't care about it anymore. But I guess he's still trying to seduce Jake to the sharing, so he wants to bond with him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they do have a whole discussion about like, oh, you're not worried about college. Does he say college entrance exams here?
Yeah, yeah.
Is
Yeah, he
that a
does.
thing in Canada? Because here
Hmm.
you would say SATs.
Right.
Like
That's a good point.
no American takes a fucking entrance exam.
Is it possible that SAT is a copyrighted name
Huh.
that you can't say on TV. Is that possible? I don't know.
Hmm. It's
The
possible.
entrance exams.
Anything is possible.
I mean, that feels like an American thing that would be true, that the gateway to education is owned by a corporation or something.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't know. That's making shit
maybe they
up.
didn't want to say because they were like, if we say SATs, then our Canadian audience will be like, oh, that's not what we take. But if they say whatever the name of the fucking shit they do in Canada is, all the Americans will be like, what's that? So we just had to fudge it.
Yeah, the fiddly what's.
I guess that's what they say.
I'm s- oh, sorry, eh? The fiddly what's.
That's how they talk in Canada. They do.
Yeah.
Cassie has a good borrowed line later on in
She
this
does.
episode. Yeah,
She does. Yeah. I made note of that as well.
yeah.
Now, where is the sharing having their big meeting tonight?
They are having it in the
Someplace cool.
Spider Club.
The Spider Club. Hell yeah. The Spider Club, which appears to be a nightclub, spider themed.
Yeah, it's got fucking
Because as we all know, every club has a
decorations.
theme.
Right.
It's like this is like the iceberg lounge.
Yeah.
Like the fucking penguin's gonna come out. Yeah, there's an iceberg. Get it?
No.
It's the iceberg lounge. Yeah.
When I first watched this episode, I did not catch that he says that it's called the Spider Club until like Tobias says it later. And I was just like, what the fuck are these giant spider webs doing all over the walls? Is this a Halloween party? What's going No. Nothing to do with that. That's just their theme, their aesthetic. They've got like black
Yes.
lights and big spider webs on
And
the
there's
walls.
on a table they're standing next to, there's like a sad plastic paper spider sitting there. It's like this is not what a club would be themed after. This is an after school
Yeah.
Halloween shit party. It's
This is
so funny.
a nightclub that does not allow you in once you are older than 18. It is
Yeah, well,
exclusively for high schoolers.
it's the bronze. I mean, they had Siberia, but that I
Right.
guess isn't cool enough.
Well, Siberia's not for parties. It's for like, you know, Beast Wars.
That's right. It's for Beast Wars. I do want to say that probably if this came out now,
Mhm.
a character might say, because it's a sharing meeting at a
Mhm.
club, they might say,
Mhm.
"In the club, we all Yeerks."
Hmm.
That's a reference for Tim Zoomer. In the club, we all Yeerks.
So go back to the Spider Club.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would like that in a different context, but I feel like you're stepping on what I did.
I just had an idea. You inspired me. You're an inspiration.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same about you. Marco enters now
Mm.
in a dapper new outfit.
Yes. I don't know who decided to do this weird drape the long sleeve shirt over his shoulders bullshit, but
It's yeah.
he does look good.
I mean, you can't make him look bad.
No.
He's Marco. But it's that kind of, he's looking like a preppy kind of upper crust. This is the kid from the college that beats up the Animal House college.
Yeah,
or
nice
whatever.
little button up tucked in shirt. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, almost like an ascot vibe.
But they didn't have an ascot, so they just tied a shirt around his neck.
Yeah. I do feel like that's a thing you see in 80s
Is it?
snobs versus slobs movies.
Hmm.
Like a guy at Caddyshack playing against Rodney Dangerfield would be doing that. I don't know what you'd call it, or maybe it's supposed to be a different article of clothing, but it is a vibe I feel like I've seen.
Okay. Well, next time I watch Caddyshack, I'll look out for it.
I think that's gonna be on the Patreon because there's a gopher in it.
Right. And there's animals. You could
Yeah.
the gopher could have been an Animorph.
Right. Anyway, in the club we all Yeerks. Oh yeah, but this is big reveal here.
Yes. Yes, Marco
Mark.
has cleaned up his act,
Mhm.
and gotten his shit together. And it's, heavily implied that he's been yerked.
Yeah, I guess it's not technically revealed, but it seems
Yeah,
pretty obvious.
it's pretty obvious. So I actually will say, even just starting right now, um, I like how this is played. I don't think that Marco is as ridiculously obvious about it as everyone else is. Like, if you were just watching this and you didn't know that it was gonna be about brain stealing slugs, you wouldn't come out here like, "Okay, he's been, like, mind controlled by some shit," which
Mhm.
often happens. He's just kinda being weird.
Yeah, he is just kind of being weird. There's really actually not that much Marco in this episode, which is
No.
probably for the best because he's usually overexposed.
Mhm.
But yeah, it is a different sort of a thing. It doesn't really
Mhm.
necessarily feel consistent with
Yeah,
the Yeerks in other episodes of the show. Like I guess they're trying to establish, hey, joining the sharing makes you get your shit together. So that's why that's good, kids.
sure. I mean, listen, like I said, I was enjoying this episode, very disconnected from the rest of the show already just because, you know,
Yeah.
all everything else going into it. So,
It is. I mean, this is something happening. Like you're like big there this
yeah.
is the freedom you get from an alternate universe episode is you can yerk
Mhm.
major characters and shit can go down because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the fun of it.
And it is kind of fun to reveal it in this way, or to start revealing it in this way, where instead of being like Marco's been yerked, you're just kind of like, okay, if you know, you know. If this is your first episode and you miss the opening
Mm.
minute,
Mm.
then you don't necessarily know what's going on here.
Yeah, maybe that's how Marco always is.
Yeah, or just who knows? He's a little weird right now. I don't know. What's Animorphs even about?
Yeah. What is Animorphs even about? Now, then there's this scene where Rachel and Jake are having a drink. Rachel looks away and he does put something in her drink, I noticed.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, like some kind of powder or something.
Huh.
No, that was a joke. He doesn't he doesn't do
Listen,
that.
he could have. It could have happened. That's not in
Yeah,
very
it's
good taste, I think, as a
oh, is
joke.
it not? It's not?
No, I don't think so.
That's not in good taste.
No. They are still
Okay.
pretty flirty.
I meant like it was like it's like a flavor mix, like
Mm.
a like Crystal Light
I
or
mean, you
something.
can move on before you make yourself look
Go
bad.
I'm still going after JonTron. Hoping he's listening.
We did get our most views, listens, whatever we get ever.
We
JonTron
did
gets views,
have
we get listens.
we did get
Due
a
to
spike.
JonTron's recommendation of our podcast.
Yeah, last on the episode where we mentioned JonTron's Animorphs show, we did get a spike in listeners.
Hmm.
By the way, we also missed up on, I think last week was our 100th episode.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we didn't say anything about it.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, this is our
I mean,
101st episode. Hooray!
uh, unless you count the episode 0, then
That
technically that was our 101st.
that one doesn't count. That's not a real. That's why it's
Right.
0th.
Right. Okay, anyway, back to the club.
So, um, Jake here does say to Rachel, "You've been watching too much Mystery Science Theater."
Okay. Yeah, now they clearly don't actually know what Mystery Science
No,
Theater is
no,
because that's not it would be one thing if they should have said you've been watching too much X-Files. That
right,
makes sense.
right.
Watching too much like they just saw that name and they were like that must be a show where weird creepy science
Yeah,
stuff happens. They- not knowing that it's just a fucking comedy show.
yeah, right.
Ridiculous. How do they not? Maybe they're relying on kids watching to also not know what that show
They
is, so it didn't
probably are.
matter.
Listen, I could easily see an episode where like all they all get yerked or something, and that's like you know what I mean? Like
Sure,
in the midway sketch they get yerked, and then in the end they get unyerked or something.
right. And if there was such an episode, we would have to do it on the Patreon.
We would if we find such an episode. We'll do it.
Who hard to know if they're. I think maybe it's Marco. I think we skipped. Also has a great line here where
Oh, yes.
he must say to Rachel, "Keep your ears open."
Yeah. That's good shit. That's really good.
Keep your ears open.
That's so good.
To that I say LMAO.
Yeah. I was happy. I was
Not
really happy.
LMFAO, but LMAO. All caps.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Rachel and Jake talk. Rachel's like, yeah, Tobias thinks there's an alien conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Um, Jake is
Yeah.
definitely jealous. There's no question.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, man, I wish I was. Well, I'm not going to finish that sentence. And then Cassie's. Everyone's here. Everyone's at
Yeah.
this fucking party. It's
The
the cool
gang's all
because they
here.
don't know any better.
Right.
The gang's all here. They're all excited. I do appreciate that the cups, the plastic cups they're using, are clear, which means they have to have real liquid in their cups.
Mm.
That's like a common. That's sometimes a pet peeve of mine on shows where if they're drinking coffee or something, you can tell there's not actually anything in that cup, and they like move the cup around in a way that it would be spilling all over the place if there was really liquid in there.
Is this
And
related
here,
to your like whole thing where when you see like you don't want to eat a different type of food than you see being eaten on TV type of thing?
no,
Like
I don't think it's related to
you're
that.
like, I see a cup of coffee and my thought immediately says I want coffee or something, but he doesn't even have coffee in the cup. Is it like that maybe or
I mean, I think now that's a separate issue I have, but I don't think it's related. Cassie says, "Oh, this place needs to be cleaned. I was in the bathroom and there was some kind of giant slug in there." So the implication is that a Yeerk is just chilling in the bathroom sink?
Yeah, like how did that happen?
What the fuck?
She walked into the infestation room and thought it was a bathroom.
I guess. But like no one was where's the
Yeah.
host? Did
She
someone did the Yeerk escape from
she
someone's
just saw
head?
the York pool and she mistook it for a sink. She got confused.
She was like, "Whoa, what is this crazy place?" And Visser 3 came out and was like, "This is just the bathroom sink, young lady. Step right this way. I'll get the janitor on that."
Yeah. And then he didn't infest her because then she wouldn't have said shit to Rachel.
Yeah. He just tricked her.
Yeah, you just tricked her.
The perfect example of a line nobody thought through in any regard.
Listen, I'm enjoying
Doesn't
the
matter.
Spider Club.
The Spider Club rules.
Can I say I really like some of the music in this episode. I'm digging the Spider Club music. It's a bop.
Well, yeah, we haven't got to the best music yet.
Hmm.
But sure. Well, there actually there is a song playing here which I didn't even pick up on, but then I saw it in the credits and I was like, "What's that?"
Mm.
This and then I saw it was being played in the club. The song is by Adam Hamilton and it is called For You.
Okay. So if I want to listen to this song, that's what I search.
Yeah, Adam Hamilton was a music producer who he's not a guy who you would probably know, but he's like played with a bunch of musicians and bands that if you knew this guy in real life, he's probably seems pretty cool. He's probably got stories to tell, you know?
Sure.
He's worked with William Shatner.
Sure.
He's worked with members of Cheap Trick.
Is that
Oh, sorry. Are we still? I
is
fell
that
asleep for a minute.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jake's.
Yeah, Tobias heads into one of the back rooms and Jake goes off to talk to him.
Uh-oh. I hope he doesn't see a fucking Slender Man back there.
Yeah, it could be Slenderman, Slender Yeerks, Slugderman.
That's a
Jake,
crossover I want.
Jake's back here, and Jake's like, Tobias, what's going on? And Tobias is like, It's too dangerous to talk. We can't talk here. I think there's an alien conspiracy and everyone's getting taken over by slugs. Um, which, you know, I don't know that Tobias handled that very well, but he
He
did.
really is. Yeah, he's just been blabbing. He's aware people are being taken
Yeah.
over, and all he's done this episode is constantly first person he sees. Hey, did you know there's aliens in people's heads?
Well, it's just Rachel because he's into her. So it couldn't be
Sure,
her. I,
sure. But
I
then
just think it's
Rachel's
really funny that he opens with "We can't talk here," and the next sentence out of his face is that he's talking now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, how could he not trust good old Jake, who he doesn't know at all in this timeline?
Yeah, I don't. All he knows about Jake is that Jake is competing for Rachel's affection with him.
I guess, but they are all at Siberia in the first episode. So
Mm.
I'm trying to remember, like, are they friends? Maybe, kind of. They
I feel like,
sort of know each other. I feel like maybe more
yeah,
than the books. It's not
yeah,
clear.
or maybe Tobias knows them as well as he knows, because in the books, Tobias is like a Jake hanger-on, where Jake doesn't like him, but Tobias is always trying to hang out with him because Jake is the only guy who's nice to him.
Yeah, but
So
here he's
maybe,
cute.
right?
I don't know if Tobias is supposed to be. I feel like if Cassie and Rachel both think he's cute,
Mm,
then Tobias isn't like as much of a loser here as he is in the
mm.
books.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
This might just go back to the thing of the standards of being a loser on television are lower.
Could
Anyway,
be. You know, it's interesting because like maybe because Tobias is more of a weird outcast, I think it's a lot easier to read book Tobias as gay coded, whereas for all of
mm,
the
huh?
like sexual tension between,
Huh?
Marco and
What?
Jake and all that, I
Uh,
don't see sexual tension between Tobias and Jake on the TV show.
did did you just lisp a little bit when you said that?
Of course.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you weren't doing anything offensive.
No. All I said was that gay people were losers, right? That wasn't offensive. Listen, it was the
Hmm.
90s. This is how it would be portrayed because he's kind of
Right.
socially isolated,
Please
you know?
remember, if we ever say anything problematic, it's the 90s.
Right. And also remember that anything I say on this podcast that this particular episode that's wrong is Jonathan's fault.
I'm cutting that. I cut that part.
Oh,
But
well,
it's
you can
and
cut that part too then.
also it's satire. I do a character sort of like Stephen Colbert. Have we? I
and
think we've done this bit.
and also it's for JonTron. It's every bit we've ever done,
Yeah.
all of them together. Uh yeah, so Jake and
Yeah.
Tobias back here and Tom
This show's bad.
shows up and Jake, yeah, and they're like, What are you guys talking about back here?" And they kind of escort Tobias out, right? And that's where we get a little twist. Y-
You mean besides that Jake is Yeerks? Isn't that the twist?
Yeah, that's the twist
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
because
Oh, I thought right.
yeah, Tobias escorts
I ruined
whatever.
it.
Tobias gets escorted out, and Tom is like, "What were you guys talking about?" And Jake was like, "He's on to us," and it's like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
Jake's a yerk! Oh fuck!"
yeah.
Right?
I forgot we didn't say it yet out loud on the show, so I, I sort of
Yeah, I was
ruined the
saving it.
surprise.
Well, yeah, it said Jake's secretly yerked. Um, so I mean, I'll say this: I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it coming either.
Yeah, not only did I not see it coming, but when he first said, "I think he's on to us," my initial impression was that Jake was lying, and I was like, that, like, to try to cover for it. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why does he believe Tobias enough to try that? Why would Tom believe him? Don't they know each other? And then I was like, wait, oh no, shit. Oh no, he really is a yerk. It was, it got
Pretty
me.
good.
It got me.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah.
You got.
I got. So this is the fun thing about doing this as a TV show is that if this was a POV written book, you couldn't do this twist,
No, you
right?
couldn't.
Like
Well, this would be a megamorph, so you could switch perspectives and do
you
it.
could switch perspectives, yeah. Um,
Or Jake could be an unreliable narrator.
Right, yeah. That's kinda like when I said diegetic,
Yeah, I
unreliable
wasn't
narrator.
it was cool when you said it and we didn't call it out, but now you've specifically called it out.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
Yeah. I did wanna, on that note,
Mhm.
have sort of a tete-a-tete with you re this episode's mise en scène.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering just how you felt in general about the episode's mise en scène.
Positively,
You did? Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I believe Tobias refers to the two guys as Frankenstein's sons.
Yes, he does. I don't know what's up with that. Uh,
Tobias, leave the quips to Marco, okay? This is a bad quip.
yeah. Now, here's another thing that I thought happened here. Um, two two big guys grabbed Tobias to escort him through the sharing.
Yeah.
And as he's getting led away, he says to Rachel, "Remember what I told you." With the idea being, maybe he's going to come back and be like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Rachel." And Rachel's going to be like, "Oh, shit." Jake is a Yeerk and he thinks Tobias is onto him. So, of course, I'm expecting Tobias is now Yeerked too, right? Like, how could he not be?
Mhm. Mhm.
But of course, in this next scene, Tobias is like, "Listen, Rachel, you can't trust anyone because the Yeerks are out there." And I was like, "Oh, I guess he's not. I guess he's not Yeerked."
Yeah, what
Like what?
how would they let him go? It
Yeah,
makes no
they
sense.
just took him out. Well, like what was that?
We can't have this guy here. Like, isn't the whole point of this meeting to yerk people?
Yeah,
What the
well, you didn't have an extra one lying around. Put the sink
where's that
Yeerk.
yeah, that's why they lost him. He's in the sink. They're like, "Damn it,
Fuck.
where's Joe Gliss 445?"
God damn,
He's
Cassie
in the
fucking
sink again.
washed him down the drain. Damn it, Cassie.
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Should have yerked Cassie. Ah,
Yeah.
well.
Now, I will say, so in this scene, like Tobias and Rachel talking, and Jake shows up and is like, "So what are you guys talking about?" And I like Jake as a controller. I think I like Jake as a controller better than I like Jake as the leader of the Animorphs in the rest of the series. He's good at being intimidating. I think his smirks play better when you know he's evil.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. He's a sneaky looking guy.
He's good. He can do the intimidation thing, you know?
Maybe Jake should have played Tom.
I think Jake would have I think Sean Ashmore would have really nailed end of series Jake, where he's supposed to be
Mm.
like, kind of he's the guy who's going to say, "Yeah, you're going to your death and go fuck yourself."
Yeah, well, we'll get to see that.
I'm sure we will.
I mean, we'll get to see end of series Jake with the last couple episodes.
Hmm.
That's end of series Jake.
I don't know.
By default, by
I
definition,
just
that's
don't
end of
know
series Jake.
about all this. Now, Jake goes to Chapman's office here.
Holy shit, it's Chapman.
Yeah, we get to see him. And I really like this scene. It's fun. I'm hoping you like it too, but maybe you don't care
I
about it.
and I well, I I don't dislike it.
I really I think so. I mean, Jake shows up and he's like, "Oh, you wanted to see me, Principal Chapman?" And then, once he gets in there, he's like, "I am your superior, and you let this Tobias kid find out about us, and Visser 3 will not be pleased." It's good. And then,
Yeah.
he leaves and he's like, "Oh, thanks for the advice, Chapman. I'll try to be more conscientious." It's good. Jake does a
Pretty
really
good.
good job playing overbearing evil guy. Chapman does a good job playing cowering loser, right?
Yeah, it's fun to get to see him berate
Yeah.
the guy who's usually the authority.
Yeah. It's
Um, Chapman's a golfer. We find out.
He is?
Yeah, he's playing with some golf balls when Jake comes in, and there's like a
Hmm.
little statue of a golfer guy.
Well, that's cool. That's a fun little detail.
Yeah, he also has a sailboat behind him.
Oh, that's probably maybe he was responsible for the Visser 1
That was
disappearance.
probably his department. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on that. Uh, Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's kind of like the little girl too, who was the secret
Mhm.
leader, right? In this case, the
Yeah.
students. Um,
Yeah. That's fun.
yeah, it,
There's
it
fun
is
to be
fun.
had there. I did think it was funny when Jake says to Chapman, um, something like, there's a million Yeerks who would love to be the principal if you get out of line. Like,
Yeah,
wait, are there?
yeah,
Why?
right.
What the fuck kind of Yeerks want to be the fucking school principal? That seems
Yeah,
like the worst job ever.
the scene almost seems like it works better in reverse. The idea that Chapman's actually just some low level, like Jake isn't even very high up the ranks yet, and he's already bossing Chapman
Right.
around and threatening him. This is the position for losers. You have to go here into the high school and oversee the kids.
Yeah,
Like
why
fuck.
wouldn't Jake, if that's the way it goes, wouldn't Jake's Yerk not be a student if he's above Chapman? Like,
I was
like he's,
actually this made me think about it, and I was actually wondering if there aren't some advantages to maybe putting your high level Yerks in like high schoolers, because,
hmm,
um, like if
be
you, I mean, if
careful,
you,
careful.
okay, no, if you take like the whole family, right, then it's probably better to have adults because they have more power in human society. But there's something to be said for, like, okay, if you're an adult, and you still have to keep up appearances with your family, you still have to go to work, you still have to do this, that, and the other. Whereas when you're in high school, it's like, okay, you have to be in school for that period of time, but you can use a lot of that time to network with your other high level Yerks who are all kids. And then
Yeah,
outside of school, what do you have to do? Homework? That's easy. Like, I already know all the math, whatever. I don't give a shit. I can make the adults do that for me. You have a lot more free time to, like, socialize, and now all of your socialization is just hanging out with upper level Yerks. I feel like there could be some advantages there.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think you're right. I think maybe we talked about this a long time ago.
Probably we
Because
did.
also, if the teachers are Yerks, you don't even have to do your homework. They
That's
just give
true.
you an A. You don't even, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, you have more leeway than you would as an adult who has certain like appointments you have to make and people are
Hmm.
paying attention to your schedule and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the classic thing where it's like, God, wouldn't it be nice to be a kid again and not have any responsibilities, but also you wouldn't have to be a dumbass kid? And it's like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, right. Just be careful again.
I'm being careful.
I don't know. You're just talking about wanting to be a kid.
I don't really
Mm,
know where you're going with this, but
people might take it the wrong way.
I'm gonna assume that it's some weird predilection that you have that I'm not aware of,
People might
and we
take
can
it the
move
wrong
on
way.
and not
That's
worry about it.
I'm trying to protect you.
So this is also where they bring up the idea where uh, uh, Tobias must be working with an Andalite, because how could he know so much about Yeerks if he's not working with an Andalite? So this is where they're suspicious of him. They got to follow this Tobias character and figure out what's going on. And when Jake leaves Chapman's office, we get the second twist, which is that Tobias can morph. Right? There's a lizard out there, and it's Tobias, and he's been spying. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Now
And
this is a confusing twist to me. I just don't understand the Elamists thinking here that
mhm,
Jake is like, I wish I wasn't an Animorph. So the natural alternate version of that is that, oh, instead just Tobias became an Animorph? Like,
yeah, I guess
why? Why?
it's the implication that Tobias was destined to become an Animorph, and Jake only became an Animorph because he tagged along with Tobias that night.
Yeah, it just feels like this is now the writers just saying, "Hey, what would be cool?"
Hmm.
versus what actually
Let,
makes sense in this
let's be
universe.
real. That's this episode. It's just the
Yeah,
writers saying what would be cool.
but like why it would make more sense if, oh, everyone else was still an Animorph and only Jake wasn't.
Hmm.
But or even like I mean, you could argue butterfly effect shit, I guess. That's just, who knows? Jake wasn't there that night, which led to everyone else leaving, and then Tobias was the only one who went through the construction site.
Yeah.
But since they didn't show it, it just feels like random.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, so Elfangor like still did crash? And he
Mhm.
still did make someone an Animorph, but it was just
Yeah.
one of them? It's just a bit strange. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe it would have been better to show the flashback scene to that night and have Jake and the rest of them leave, but Tobias just isn't with them. And then you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, he still went." Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it.
I think that would have worked.
Did you like when Tobias said, "This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them."
Yeah. When did he say that again?
Right after he saw Jake and Chapman.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because there is only one Jake in this episode.
Yeah, no, there's not.
It's
This isn't the separation.
This isn't the sequel to Chinatown or something.
Now, there's some music that comes in here.
Yeah. Now everything is worth it for this right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh yes, this is great.
It comes in with this badass
Yeah.
music straight out of the fucking Matrix, just this kick-ass like bum, chicka, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. That's
Yeah.
not what it is, but that's the
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, there's like these big strong like boom, like electric guitar chords coming in. It's good.
Yeah, and then Tobias and Jake have this face-off in the hallway
Mhm.
where and it just cuts between them. It's like Kill Bill. You hear the
Mhm. It's like zooming in on both of their faces.
it's
Goes red.
it's pretty epic,
It
I will
fucking
say.
rules. Listen,
Pretty
this
good.
is why Tobias gets to be an Animorph, is because now there's the standoff between Yeerk
Yeah.
Jake and Morphin Tobias.
Yes, as much as I criticize them for sort of working backwards there, the payoff is worth it. It's pretty good. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
would it be
rules.
better if we had like Tobias and Jake's relationship existed prior to this episode?
Mhm.
Yes. Would it be better if that was Marco?
Mhm.
Way better, because we
Mhm.
actually care about Jake and Marco's
Mhm.
relationship. It's still cool, but it is a little. It could have been more if the show were better.
Yeah, I'm interested in how that would go because I do think like
Or Jake and
to
Rachel, even.
like here's the
Or
thing,
Cassie. Honestly, any of them.
Tobias
Yeah.
does because part of this is, you're saying this scene is cool despite the fact that nothing leading up to it makes sense. So if you take it just on vibes, uh
Yeah.
Tobias has the Keanu vibes, the loner vibes. So like
Hmm.
him
Hmm.
being the lone guy standing against the threat is good. And I
Yeah.
really do think Jake pulls off evil controller better than he pulls off Jake. Uh and I'm wondering, like, I think part of the reason this works is because it's Tobias and Jake. Like, I'm imagining Marco here, and all I'm thinking is like, am I staring at it and being like, "Damn, this is so cool," or am I being like, "Oh, he's so beautiful"? Like, is he the evil one, or is he the lone, defense against the forces of darkness? I don't know that he's either of those.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Marco would actually work in practice, but you know,
Yeah,
it works better in theory. But
yeah. From a writing standpoint, it should be
right.
Marco.
Right. Like I said, I think any other character, because
Mhm.
Tobias is the one who has the least amount of interactions with Jake
Yeah.
over the course of the series.
Yes. Yeah, Cassie
But
and Jake have much more of a relationship. Rachel and Jake at least have that sexual tension, so you'd be
sure,
like,
in
you know,
spades.
right? It'd be like kind of like whoa
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
But it's another example of I think if you watched this episode and you hadn't watched the rest of the show,
Yeah.
you'd be going, "Wow, the rest of the show must really earn this. Like, this is really cool."
Hmm, hmm.
Then little do you know, no, they didn't earn it, but
Yeah. You
it's
don't
fine.
even
It's
get to fucking see Tobias as a boy in the rest of the show.
yeah, right. So yeah, it's frustrating because it's
Hmm.
like it is so cool, but if you stop and consider it, it's just
Yeah.
they just kind of a cheat. They just did not earn it, is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're gonna say. this exact same outline about every episode of the show, which is sometimes we're going to say this is bad. And sometimes we're going to say this could have been truly great if the rest of the show earned it, but as it is, it was just enjoyable. And
It
that's the whole
feels
show.
like
Every moment's one of
right.
those.
It feels like rather the writers sat down and rather than saying, "Hey, let's make the show good," n- like halfway through the season 1 being like, "Look, we dropped the ball on these characters.
Mhm.
Let's try to fix that."
Mhm.
Instead, they just said, "Hey, what if we just pretended that we didn't drop the ball?"
Right.
If we just remember, kids now, there's no the VHS tapes are expensive. They're not seeing the reruns. Let's just pretend the first half of the show was good, and maybe we can trick them. They'll go along with it. But the show must have been good, right? Because this is cool. I
I
don't
mean, listen,
know.
if this was the first episode I saw, I'd be like, damn, I bet this show
Yeah,
rules.
there's a I think it was filmmaker Matt Johnson who I remember in some interview said that every movie seems better if you miss the first 20 minutes of it. That if because your brain will fill in the gaps and be like, oh, something cool must have happened to lead up to this. Even if it's like a shit movie, you'll give it the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, I don't know what I missed, but it must have
Every
justified
movie.
this.
Not like the bottom 50% of movies, but all of them.
Well,
Just
I'm
assume.
paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he
Okay,
said, but
fair enough.
the idea works here.
Mhm.
Anyway, maybe it is every movie.
Maybe it is. All right. So we cut to Rachel's house, and Tobias calls her up. And this is where I'm going to bring up Rachel's bird thoughts because the reason I recognize this as Rachel's room is because she has her bird poster.
Wow.
So that's how we know. So she's got a bird thing. It's not just Tobias,
She also has a James Eha poster. We
right?
remember him.
Yep, I remember him.
Tobias is calling her from a phone booth,
Right.
which I don't think they even had in 1999.
They remember that they existed in 1999.
Well, actually, I think the movie phone booth came out in like 2002. So
They use phone booths in The Matrix.
that's true. That's true. You're right. You're right.
So they must.
Mea culpa.
Anyway,
Jake's in there too.
yeah, Jake's just at Rachel's house. You know, wonder what he's doing there.
And then Tobias says to Rachel, your Jake is already dead, essentially. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Rachel knows because she's pretending it's not Tobias.
yeah. Rachel's like, "Oh, hi, Cassie," or whatever. Yeah.
I do think Rachel is kind of thinking to herself, so if Jake's a controller, there's a
Mhm.
Yeerk in there. Technically, it's not incest anymore because
'Cause
it's
it's
the
the
Yeerk.
Yeerk.
Yeah, so that's a
Yeah.
loophole for them.
Oh, that's smart.
Hmm.
That's not the joke that I wrote in my notes, but I didn't have a good setup for it, so.
Oh, do you want to say the punchline?
Well, it was just like, cause it's like, well, maybe Jake's there to, he's gonna like put a yerk in her, and then I was like, well, is that what the
Oh
kids
my
are calling it these
god.
days?
That's
I was like
disgusting.
trying to figure out how to make that
What's
better.
wrong with you?
I don't know.
I can't believe
That
you
was
would say
it needs
something like that.
workshopping, is what it needs.
Jesus Christ. That's filthy.
It needs workshopping.
Ugh. I'm sorry, listeners.
Anyway, they have the word,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
They have this whole thing, and Tobias is like, meet me at the Spider Club. We're gonna sneak in the back to find the Kandrona. There's a bunch of
Mhm.
statements in this episode about like the location of the Kandrona, and again, I'm thinking, remember how the Ellimist showed them the location of the Kandrona? I mean, maybe they realized that they messed that up last time. They were like, this time the Ellimist shows them the location of the Kandrona with the vision. That's why he did it. That's the sneaky reason. But that's not gonna happen. There's no way they're gonna reference that next episode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Any
know about that.
it would be listen, if next episode they go to the Spider Club because the Ellimist told them that's where the Kandrona is, I will lose my shit.
Can I say something right now? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Am I not spider enough for the spider club?
I'm really glad you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then while they were filming that scene, Rachel did her 9/11. Okay. Listeners are either loving this, cracking up, or stone-faced, just wishing this was over. Most likely the latter.
I love the Spider Club. I love the Turtle Club, and I love 9/11. This is the happiest moment of the podcast for me so far.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So Rachel shows up at the Spider Club, and uh-oh, Jake's here. And he's like, "What are you doing back here?" You know?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's when Tobias shows up as a lion and, like, I guess jumps
Caesar,
on Jake and knocks him out or something.
right. He doesn't even jump on him. He approaches him and Jake turns around to run away and trips and hits his head on a table. The lion,
Jesus
the power of the
Christ.
lion, they're so
Yeah.
powerful they don't even need to touch you. They just appear and you hurt yourself.
Right. Jesus. I like Tobias's face demorph from Lion to Tobias. Um,
Sure.
it's like super zoomed in, and I kind of think it looks. I mean, it looks better than when they normally just do like the headshot on no background. Um, like it's clear that it's super
Yeah.
zoomed in on his face, so they don't have to do the body. But at least they're trying to hide it with like, oh, I'm trying to do some kind of a shot, and not just I don't want to do it type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Well, we didn't see him turn into a lizard
No, we
or
didn't
turn
do
back from a lizard.
right. No, none of that. None of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks all right. It looks fine.
Yeah,
They,
it's
they
fine.
tied they tied Jake up
Hmm.
and talked to him about, Yeerks.
Right. And Jake's like, so Tobias, where's that Andalite you're working with? And
Yeah.
that's when the third twist of the episode happens. Because
Yeah.
this is when Rachel's like, he's the Andalite, or at least he's the Morpher, because she's secretly been yerked too. And she was just tricking Tobias to try to find out what Andalite he was working with, but now he's revealed it's him, and so now he's fucked. Because Tom and the other Animorphs, like Marco and Cassie, and they're all yerked, and they all show up, and they're like, haha, we got you now, bitch. It's good.
They do say bitch, which I was surprised by.
Yes, they do say exactly that.
Yeah. Tom
Um,
I calls him a motherfucker.
and Victor Trent is also here.
Oh yeah, finally. Jesus,
I
it's been
know.
a while.
I, you know what's funny? I have a note here that says it's been too long, and I realized it's been one episode.
Well, he wasn't in the last one.
Right, that's what I mean. Like he was in
Yeah.
the one before that, though.
Well, for us that means it's been 2 full weeks without him.
That's true. Yeah.
Now,
Mm.
I'm going to calm down. I'm going to say I feel that it's a fair statement to make
Hmm.
that this is too many twists. There's just too many. You can only
Mm.
do this so many times before it becomes boring. Like,
Mm.
okay, they're all Yeerks. You use the same trick 3 times in one episode. I'm over it. It's not
Yeah.
cool anymore.
I mean, here's the thing. Rachel is a much better actress than what's her name? The lady who
Mm.
plays Rachel is.
Than Brooke Nevin.
Brooke Nevin. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think she was a Yeerk, so I guess they
Yeah.
got me again, but that's more because it was like, surely they won't do that again.
Yeah.
No, they tricked me. They did it yet again.
Yeah, now
It-
here's kind of a weird thing though. Like I get she's coming there with Tobias.
Mhm.
They say she got yerked last night. So when Tobias called her on the phone and she was like, "Hi Cassie, I have to hide because Jake's here." Um that that means that she was yerked then. So that was a performance. But
Does it? I guess. Was it that day? I
I thought
guess.
that was the same day.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, okay, well, I was assuming it was, and
It doesn't make sense.
if it is, yeah, it's kinda like Tobias doesn't know that Jake's there. I guess maybe in case the Andalite is spying on her because they don't know if it's morphed, and they're still trying to
Right.
figure out who the where the
Yeah, that must be it.
maybe.
That must be it.
I actually had a similar question about Jake, because, long before, we find out the twist where he is a Yeerk, there's that bit where he gets called into Chapman's office. And I was wondering when I rewatched this episode, I was wondering, is he already Yeerked at this point? And that was supposed to be a tell, because like, what's the point of having him get called to Chapman's office, right? And it's like, oh shit, maybe that's the secret. He's already Yeerked. But then after that scene is the scene where he's like playing basketball with Tom, and he's like, Tom, why aren't you interested in your entrance exams anymore? Isn't that kind of weird? So I guess he wasn't. I'm not sure this episode really had a great idea of who was Yeerked when.
Yeah, I think if you were to try to plot it out, it would be completely chaotic
Mhm.
and nonsensical. Even here, like Rachel and Jake are acting before Tobias shows up,
Mhm.
but why? Why
Well,
not just you could just put a Yerk in Tobias's head and find everything out. It's
because
just for the sake of the
they don't
twist.
know if there's an Andalite. They need to see the
Put a
Andalite
Yerk
attack.
in his head.
Well, if they go to take him, then the Andalite might attack. They'll lose their chance. Rachel wants to get in with Tobias, you know what I
All
mean?
right.
Like if the
Yeah, I
Andalite
know what you
attacks
mean.
Jake, she can go home with
Okay.
Tobias and then say hi to the Andalite.
Sure.
I don't know.
No. Yeah, no. I don't believe any of it.
I did my best.
Yeah. Well, then everybody shows up.
Yeah.
Juan and
Uh,
Terry.
Ron and Terry. Victor Trent promotes Jake, who he call. By the way, um, Jake refers to Rachel as 249. He refers to Chapman. Let's see if I can find it up here. He calls him a number too. It's a where the hell is this fucking thing?
It's not 226 like
No, he calls him a different number. Uh, I don't fucking know.
1? Is it 1?
It's not one.
Is it 2?
I don't see it here.
Is
Damn
it
it.
is it 2 or 3?
It's some four-digit number.
It,
But the point is, he calls
oh,
both of
is it
them.
1 2 3 4?
He calls Chapman and Rachel by their numbers. Visser
Mhm.
3 shows up and says, "You did well, Jake."
Yeah.
Now,
I don't like that.
that's bad.
I also a similar thing, I didn't bring it up earlier, but I also was annoyed when he's in Chapman's office, he refers to Tom as my host's brother.
Hmm.
But like, doesn't that Yerk have a name? And
Yeah.
wouldn't Chapman know who that Yerk was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just stuff that's for the audience's benefit, and they're treating us like children, which is who they're writing for. And
Right.
it's sloppy. Yeah, it's all sloppy.
Yeah. My host's brother is what Tom says about Jake when Jake's not
Right.
Yerked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they're like, well, if we say glue glue 7-2, then
Yeah.
kids will be confused.
Right. Glue
You know.
Glue 7-2.
Yeah. Classic glue glue.
Now,
What is someone says I don't care what you're about to say. Someone says the line, "Yeah, I am." Do you know what that
what?
means? I just wrote down a note that says, quote in quotes, "Yeah, dot dot dot, I am." And then after that I wrote LMAO. So it must have been funny, but I can't remember the context.
Huh. I don't have
So I
anything about that here.
thought you could fill me in. Hmm.
Uh, there is a good. I was wondering if it was the line that I was going to do here, where Tobias says, "We should have been on the same side," to Jake, and Jake says, "We
Mm.
will be, Tobias," or
That is a
something
good
like that.
line.
That is
Yeah,
a good line,
just not the side you wanted, he says.
right? Yeah, I honestly think it would have been stronger if he didn't say the follow up.
No, I think the follow-up is what makes it good.
It's still the implication is there. Regard, it's fine. Either way, it's a
No,
good line.
I like when they say the thing.
Either way, it's good. It's
Yeah.
fun. I enjoy it. Jake and Rachel both have breakdowns with their Yeerk in order to be like, no, it's so bad that I'm Yeerked, which doesn't add much, although it does add the ability for Victor Trent to like put his hand on Jake's face and go, get control of your host again, which is always a fun time. Love that.
Yeah. 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 He actually says get control of yourself.
Mm. I guess because
So
it's
that's
Jake doing it.
yeah, I don't know. Are we at some point are we maybe deciding that the things that don't make sense are because the Elemist is making this all
Mm.
up?
I was wondering maybe Visser 3 is the human lover and not Visser 1, because like he's always being Victor Trent, instead of an Andalite, and
Yeah.
here he's calling him Jake. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he is for sure.
Yeah, that could be. It could be.
But the Elemist hears his cry
Hmm.
and returns everything to the way it was.
Yay! Hooray!
Yeah.
And now
Jake's
Jake's like,
back.
I'm so happy to not be Yeerk. Before I thought it would be better if I didn't fight the Yeerks because I had to do homework, but now I realize how bad it would have been because we all be controllers, and
Yeah, he
I'm
didn't
happy
realize
again.
before that they would all be controllers. That wasn't
Right.
apparent to him.
No, he didn't realize that. And so he's all happy.
He doesn't say, I wish the Yeerks didn't
No,
come. He just wants
no.
to not be
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah. The Elemist is actually actively says, I can't stop the Yeerks from
Right.
being here. And Jake's like, I don't care.
He couldn't have possibly imagined this scenario outcome without being shown it explicitly by the Elemist.
Right.
Uh,
It's kind of dumb.
then every other Animorph shows up, including Axe,
Axe, I
in
like that
Jake's
Axe
room.
has he's got an important thing to tell Jake, which is
Yeah,
that he
right.
can finally blow bubbles with bubble gum.
Classic Axe.
Um, it's kind
Pretty
of
good
stupid.
bubble.
It
It's a
is a good
huge
bubble.
bubble.
Yeah.
I can't blow a bubble. I can't
Oh,
do
really?
that.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Wow.
I mean, why? Because why would I ever develop that skill?
Right. No, the reason that I can do it is because when I was like 12 or 13, I was like, I never learned to blow a bubble like all the other kids. I should learn that. I think by the time that you're in like
Yeah.
high school, you don't care anymore.
Well, I couldn't whistle until I was like 22,
Mm.
which was 4 years ago. But now I'm a whistling machine.
Mm-hmm. Whistle something for me.
I can't do it on the spot.
Mm. Okay.
I can't do it now.
Mm. We'll take
Because
your
I'm
word
gonna
for
laugh. It's gonna make me smile, and then my lips aren't in the right position. I can't do it on
it.
the
Mhm.
spot.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We all trust
My
you.
lips are dry. I've been talking
We
too much. My
know.
mouth is dry.
You're a machine.
This isn't fair. I'm being put on the spot. I'm gonna splice in some whistling, maybe. What if I could just? You gotta give me 1 second.
Okay. Okay.
No, I can't because I'm gonna smile. I'm laughing. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna smile about
It's
it.
okay.
I can't do
It's
it. My
okay.
mouth,
We
my
don't.
face isn't the
We
right
can move
shape.
on. This isn't. It's not necessary.
Ah, shit. Fuck. I'm a really good whistler, though.
Okay.
You know I am. You
I
know
know
I
you're.
am.
I know about your whistling. Yeah.
You just gotta. I can't. I'm not in the. I've been talking too much. My mouth is dry. It's got to
Right.
be wet.
Moist, even.
Aren't the Animorphs not supposed to be congregating like this all in one place?
Yeah.
All
You
in
know what
Jake's
else
bedroom?
shouldn't be happening is that Jake shouldn't
Hmm.
be shouting. We're not
Yeah.
Yeerked. We're not controllers anymore, you guys.
Yeah.
And they're all like, get him to shut up. And Jake's like, no, don't you get it? We don't have Yeerks in our heads. Tom. I'm not a
Tom's
Yeerk.
still a Yeerk, but we're not.
I mean, I do like when Tobias shows up and he's like, Tobias, you're still a bird. I love that you're a bird.
it's yeah, it's fun. It kind of has the same problems that we've been
Yep.
talking about. It is funny that they all have a pillow fight with him. Just like
Yeah.
they don't take this seriously at all. They're like, "Oh, Jake, haha,
Hmm.
your compulsion to reveal our secrets at a loud volume amuses us."
Well, it's only Jake's three most like romantic pairing people. Like Tobias and Axe aren't really in on the pillow fight.
That's true. Marco, Rachel, and Cassie are pinning him down
Hmm.
while Axe watches, and Tobias is in his cuck cage in the corner.
Right. On the cuck sill, the window sill, whatever. I don't know.
And that's the end, and everything's resolved now.
Yeah, Jake learned a valuable lesson. That was the
As did we
Elemist's
all.
plan all along.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got some kind of outro about friendship or something. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't he? Isn't there? He's like, I finally learned what friendship is. I'm like, was that in the intro? Did you set up friendship? I don't
I
remember
don't know.
that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I overall, my main takeaway from this episode is that I
Hmm.
missed the Drode.
That's a fair
Uh,
takeaway.
episode, the books get the Drode bump. This episode gets the no Drode
Dump.
bump down. Oh yeah, the
Hmm.
dump. Did we already come up with that once?
Maybe. I
Probably.
don't know.
Yeah, this gets the no Drode dump. You got to dump it down a bit because no Drode.
Right.
You can't. I think if you're gonna do an episode like this, you got to have a Drode in it. It's like doing a Tim Burton movie without Johnny Depp. It's like, what's the point?
uh, so I mean, I
Um,
did like this episode a lot. I'm enjoying these. I'm wondering. I really do wonder what are we doing with this series? What am I gonna see?
right, because we've had so many of these, as you said, uh, outside the status quo kind of episodes
Hmm.
that don't feel quite earned or justified. And now I don't
Yeah.
remember what the typical episodes are supposed to be like.
Yeah.
We're pretty much out of books.
Yeah. I
So
mean, there's
what are we
there's
doing?
plenty of books if you're willing to do wild shit and progress the plot. But they don't really seem to want to do that. I'm assuming they're not going to do it till the season finale, and maybe then they'll do something from the books. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, and like, it seems like now we're getting a lot of the time, when we're not pulling from the books. It's not the disc in the mall episode. It's the flashback. It's the alternate reality. Rachel has amnesia. It's not like a main plot. So, like, what are we doing? I don't know.
Well, we are one episode away from the season
Oh,
finale
really? I thought there were more.
next week, and then it's a two-parter.
Oh, damn. Shit, you're right.
So
So,
there's only one more. Presumably, the two-parter
yeah,
is going to be a big finale. So we have one more
yeah,
kind of. Is it going to be setup? Is it going to be a random one-off? Is it going to be plot? I don't know.
yeah, it's not going to be plot. I don't know what it's going to be, but
Well, I don't know. Plot. How do you define plot? That could mean a lot of
yeah,
things.
it's not going to be a book. It's not named after a book. It's not going to be a book, for sure. That's my
I
bet.
wonder.
So I mean, okay. Last time after the pod, you had said that maybe we could speculate on what the next episode would be,
Okay.
and but it would take the edge off of the
Your
outro or
great
whatever.
outros that everybody really looks forward to.
Yeah, but the thing is, the outros suck and they're bad.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
why deny people a good speculative conversation that would, of course, be good and not bad?
Yeah. Why not tack on another 7 or 8 minutes?
Right? Yeah. Um, I mean, I'll just should I reveal the title?
Yeah. Do it.
Okay, the title of the next episode is going to be The Release, which could have been a book name but is not.
Now that there's only like 8 episodes of the show left, now that we're
We're
mostly
changing
finished
the
with it,
format.
let's add a new thing to the format to improve it. Yeah. Just like the Animorphs show.
Yeah.
So the release, yeah, I honestly have don't even have a guess of what that could be referring to. I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah. Maybe this is the Price Cut Polly episode. Because they release her
Hmm.
from Deal and Dan Hawk.
So okay, the release
Advertisement.
could be Tobias being released from Hawk form.
It could be.
It
I-
could be a Hork-Bajir escaping and being released from Yeerk captivity.
I would love that, but there is no way they're doing that with the Hork-Bajir that they
I
have.
think it could happen.
It could.
It could be a release of tension. It could be a sexual release with Jake and Rachel.
I mean, the outro that I was planning on was to say I had a joke, but I can't say it because it's not appropriate for the podcast, but
Okay, so I mean, it's happening now.
yeah, apparently
I,
that's what's happening.
those are my 3 guesses.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just like the new episode. It's like it's out. This is the release.
Yeah, I if I had to guess, I would say it's going to be another plot that is not from a book. It's gonna
Sure.
be another made up plot, but, like, I
But what
don't
is
know
it?
what other gimmick they could do, right? Like, is there some kind of just generic I mean, you know,
Could be
maybe
Visser 1. Maybe Marco's mom comes back.
maybe it has to do with them actually getting the Herak disc back so that they
Hmm.
can do a final two-parter with the disc.
A 3-parter, we should say.
Well, it's a 3 yeah, it's gonna extend into the next season, but
All right. Well, now we've speculated. It's on record. We'll see who's right next week.
yeah, we can keep track and there'll be points, all that stuff.
Yeah. Let us know, listeners, what you think next week's episode will be about. Or if you have any other thoughts or opinions about the Animorphs series, book, or otherwise, email us, theyeerkyboys@gmail.com, and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/theyeerkyboys. We have bonus episodes every single freaking week. This week, we're going to be talking about an American werewolf in London. So if you got Wolfman fever right now, like everybody else in America,
Mhm.
you're going to want to get in on the action for that. You can follow me online at jonathanestis.com or on Blue Sky at Quentz.
Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 18, The Release, on The Yeerky Boys.